Hello everybody and welcome to the Gilded Flask, where adventure is never far. We are back from our vacation break with episode number 26. Glad to be back. My name is Barry and I will be your Dungeon Master for this session, and I'm joined by three wonderful people. Please introduce yourselves.
Hey man, I play Karla Lilacott, the inquisitive College of Spirits bard who now has all her memories back.
I'm Daniel. I'm playing John Varenthal, the paladin who is questioning his motivations.
And Marissa, I play Casariel, the Aesmar Twilight Cleric.
If you have never visited our place before, we post weekly recordings of our playthrough on YouTube, and now we also post them on our podcast that we have. Episode 1 through 25 are currently live on there, 26 going up next week, of course, as we are currently playing it. And if you're with us right now, then thank you for being with us live on Twitch, because, yeah, we also stream this live. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're wondering, like, hey, can I chat with these guys while they're playing it? Yes, you totally can. Join us on Twitch for that. Every Saturday in, like, your time equivalent. Schedule is
5:30 Eastern Standard Time, 11:30.
Thank you.
All that.
Yeah, there we go. And it's posted on Twitch, and we got a couple of other places where we have the schedule going, so do join us for live fun and all that. As we are still relatively new, we currently do not have any sponsors, but we do have a couple of awesome people that we would like to shout out, and those are in no particular order: Dizondra and Paradox for our amazing character art, Pyram King, James RPG Art, and DM Andy for creating the wonderful maps and content that we are using throughout this campaign, and Tabletop Audio, Scott Buckley, Phoenix Music, Alex Kazan, and Alexander Nakarada for the great musical scores that we have in the background. Oh, yes. Additionally, looking at how great the people are looking on cam, we have a couple of shout-outs we'd like to give to people that made that for us, who are Scarlet Feathers for making the awesome armor set that Daniel is currently wearing, pauldrons, and the shoulders. Absolutely brilliant. And Aconite Creations for the stunning chest piece that Marissa is currently wearing. And with that, let's head into the tale.
Tell me, do you like ghost stories? I've been investigating people vanishing mysteriously into the night, never to return. It looks like I've found out where they've been.
Good evening.
I don't like this place. The air feels heavier.
Did you hear that?
What do you mean he's watching?
In this place, nothing is what it seems.
We come from an ancient land.
There's no time for this. What are you looking for?
This place has taken my father and my mother. It will not have me.
We gotta move, now!
Oh, I do love a good mystery.
Barovia is mine, and so are you.
You know, 26 episodes in, and every single time I have to say it. That is such a great intro. I'm so proud that that is our intro. It's so beautiful. Made by our very own Casariel. Thank you so much for that. I really, really love watching it every single time.
Yes.
Right, so where were we last time? It's been 2 weeks, so you guys are going to have to help me out a little bit over here, but I believe that I know where we ended. But where did we start last time? Do you guys remember?
I believe we were leaving the druids. Or did we?
Oh,
Did we
yeah.
have the fight with the druids? The large.
You got the fight with the Wicker Man. Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys went toe-to-toe with the Wicker Man, which was a gigantic stick figure, if you will. Made of a lot of sticks, and empowered by a magical green gem in its chest. This thing stood like 60 feet tall, and you guys bested it quite fashionably so.
I got kicked.
Yeah, you totally did. But I love the creative approach of Karla, just throwing a rope up there and just climbing it.
Grappling hook, that was so cool.
Yeah, because you were going for the heart, right? You were gonna like pull it out. Yeah, great. You bested it. It fell to the ground. It was destroyed. You had a little talk with the druids and noticed that the druids, while very happy with what you did have some different visions on how to protect and reshape the world.
Destroy it.
They were fucking crazy. We're allowed to say that. They were fucking crazy.
They had an alternative like vision.
I think their methods are bad, but they actually weren't wrong in that. Yeah, it would bring balance to the world if everyone died.
Yeah, it's the nature prevails and everyone else gets
snapped into this.
So you took the gem with you. You stopped by the winery to tell them that you indeed found the gem, and with the intention of going to present it to Strahd in exchange for a meeting with Casariel's mom and a way out of Barovia. You set out, made camp, and while you were camping, Ernst Larnack approached you out of the darkness and said he was working for Strahd and requested the gem so that he could escort it back to Strahd, which you kindly refused. Or not so kindly, actually. The next day, you went back to Vallaki, en route to the castle, and while crossing the bridge next to Vallaki, you ran into Strahd and Anaconda, the servant, help, acquaintance of Ernst, at the Sanguine Rose. And they both assured you that the gem would be in their safe hands. You handed over the gem, and you were promised that a meeting with Casariel's mom would soon happen at a place and time that will be told to you in a couple of days as the meeting would have been set up. As you had to wait for that, you decided to finish up a couple of loose ends. The first one, of course, being the hags that live in the windmill, where you went to and you did a stunning performance in using a disguise kit to disguise Karla as a kid.
Where's my Oscar?
To lure them out. And to ultimately cut down the hags swiftly, begging for their lives as you swiftly dealt justice to them. You went upstairs in the windmill and found the bottle with Karla's memories. And Karla now has her memories back, and that is where we left off last time. So let's go back to that eventful time at the windmill. I'm standing at the top level of the windmill. I ask you guys, what is your next move?
In the last session, Karla had scooped a couple of these into her bag. When she sort of picks up another one and examines it, does it have any markings at all of what it could possibly be?
It does not. However, all the bottles do look the same, and the one that you have found, which just felt like it was yours, because the one that there was one bottle that really spoke to you. You felt that was something of yours was there. The other bottles don't speak to you, and they look remarkably the same. However, they are glass bottles, and upon close inspection, if you look closely enough, you will see something swirling inside. Give me an investigation check.
Oh, you know I love to do those. I'm so good at them. That will be a 22.
Wow. Okay. Looking at a couple of the bottles, and there's quite a few up here, but looking at a couple of the bottles, you notice that there is something swirling inside, almost as if there is something in between a liquid and mist. It is faintly glowing, and if you look at it, like if you peer at it long enough, you start noticing that there are faint shapes in these liquids, if you will. Some of them look like a mouth that is sticking out its tongue. Some look like a heroic knight that is standing tall with a sword above its head. and some of them look like eyes that are frantically looking around as if they are scared. You're not really sure what to make of this, but apparently there is a distinction between one bottle from another, just by looking at the contents.
Okay. Karla's going to put them in her bag to catalog for later. And with her memories returned, grimace a little, but turn to her companions.
Should we not destroy them all?
What
We
are
could
these
return them
things?
to their owners. If we find anyone who's dealt with these hags, we can offer to return them. They may be able to find their memories within. I was able to feel out my own. Maybe if someone has dealt with them before and lost something, we can offer them back.
Remind me, how did we get you back your memories? Like, what was the actual process of it?
I drank it.
Yeah.
You drank it. Okay. Okay.
I don't know if
Okay,
that's
so
what
yeah,
meant
destroying
to do,
probably
but
would be
that's
bad.
what we know.
And,
Okay.
and to just emphasize on that, by the way, like you can technically drink this, but it's a... I mean, drinking water is drinking water. I don't have to explain that. But like drinking this kind of goopy stuff that's an experience.
Karla's all about experiences.
John picks one up. I don't understand. What are these?
They seem to be things that the witches have taken from people. My memories were one of them, but I see eyes in some of the containers. One of them had a mouth. They could be memories of some sort, maybe something else, but mine spoke to me when I sort of got close to it. Not literally, but I was able to sense it. Maybe if we find others who were put in our situation, we can return them, and if those people happen to be horrible, happy with children being eaten people, we can use it as bargaining tools. You know what I mean?
What if
Quite
not
useful.
having it makes them horrible people?
Yes, I am wondering about that.
If you identify it, would it give you clarity on the mechanism of returning the memories or the whatever it is?
Maybe. I'll hold one of them in my hands, just a random one, and cast Identify on the flask.
It's very tricky. How am I going to rule that?
So if it's an item, I can learn if there's a spell affecting it, how it was created, like what, if it was created by a spell, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that kind
that
of thing.
part, yeah, that part you can definitely feel. If you cast Identify on it, first off, you are hit with a blast of like evil. This is made through malicious means, and as you might have noticed when yours was made, the contents are made through a bargain. The creators of these flasks have these flasks that they've just purchased or made themselves. And they strike a bargain with someone, and as they do, that bargain forms a magical bond between the hag and the, well, unfortunate soul. And as that bargain strikes, quite literally, some goop is just extracted from a person, which is just immediately pulled into the bottle, which they hold in their hand. And as that happens, they put a stopper on it, and there you go. As to what they extract really differs from person to person. But it is done through magical means in the form of a binding contract.
with the witch dead, would that break the contract?
Unfortunately, it does not.
I look at one again. Is there any marking or labeling on it at all?
None whatsoever. No. The bottles do look like the bottles are handmade, so they all look different from one another, but they're just bottles.
Well, that's just poor construction. That's just poor planning. These things are... How would they ever know whose these are? Makes no sense.
Sure, she
You know
understood
who
it with
might
the pun.
know? The Lord of this land might know.
Yes. You might.
I hate to leave this all here. Do you know, I just
Yes,
want to...
I think we should take them. And if we happen across people with similar fortunes of us, they can take a look themselves. Maybe they might help us in understanding how we can return the things that we need to return. Or if we encounter Strahd again, I suppose it would behoove us to ask him if he understands anything more.
Do you think that thing in your bag might pose a threat to these? Because they might be something precious to people.
No, I don't think it will.
Okay, satisfies me.
You hear a very subtle giggle coming from your bag.
See, he's very good mood. I don't think he can take things between the bags, and I don't think he hasn't touched anything else. And
Do we have a
Yeah.
labeling
Look
system?
around. How many of these vials are there?
Well, 36.
okay,
I don't think we can take 36, can we? Will it
the
get...
bag of holding. Yes, we can.
Oh, they won't break in
Yes,
there.
you
Okay.
can.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. What happens if he
Yeah.
drinks them all?
Well, I don't know. But it's better than leaving them here, and I don't think any of us want to carry around 36 loose in one of our bags, where this is an interdimensional pocket that's quite convenient. You know? We have what we need.
Guest. All right.
Right. Karla's going to put them in, and she's also going to take one of the dolls that's laid out on one of the tables. She's going to take that, and she's going to also very carefully put that in her bag.
Do the dolls?
As very quick in between, John, you have like a cursor going like around your head.
I know.
It's not
I
a ghost.
noticed that. I got rid of it. I didn't get rid of it. I just moved it off. But yeah, I saw
I just
it.
wanted to make sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Do the dolls remind me of Blinksy's creations?
They're similar, but no, they're similar in quality, which is something to be said either for the creator of these dolls or of Blinksy's skill. But there are sackcloth dolls that do look like small children. They do look different than what Blinksy makes.
I think we should scout this place out for anything that these witches had that was valuable. Take it with us, and from there, perhaps we can try and track down this Fane altar site. We might glean maybe some more information from it, if nothing else.
I'm gonna go downstairs.
Wait, before you do you remember what we were told about every night? How the souls of people like us who've fallen here march to the castle. Do you remember that?
I do.
No.
Yes, the march. It was very early on. Some Vistani women told us within Barovian village's bar, but I don't think we're anywhere near the castle.
Well, it originates from Barovia, I think. I'm not sure where, but perhaps if we put these bottles along that path, they could retrieve them. I mean, I assume other adventurers have tried to stop them as well.
Perhaps. Or other people struck bargains with them for different means, different things.
Are ghosts afraid of bottles? Can you bottle a
I've
ghost?
met a ghost trapped in a bottle before, but it wasn't particularly happy about it. And it involves a lot of seals, a lot of confounding, like, sigils. Past that, that is not a bad idea. If we do happen to see that parade, maybe we can bring the bottles out to see if any of them respond to the dead walking.
I should like to see that anyway. I have this sinking feeling in my gut that Perhaps my father might be among them. You know.
Oh my. The other night when we were all sleeping and I took my watch, I briefly borrowed your crossbow and attempted to reach out to your father. In case he could provide any information. I couldn't reach him, but I did gain a vision. And I think I do know where your father may lay. I think he's within Argentvost Hold. And I think his spirit is there as well, if I got a vision for it.
You mean his spirit is not resting? It's there, like a ghost.
I'm not sure. All I got was a vision, but that's what I reached out for. Maybe his spirit, if it was still within Barovia. Sorry about borrowing your crossbow. I gave it back and I didn't touch anything on it and didn't dent it or mark it or anything of the sort.
Well, just be careful. I do have about 30 items on me that will kill you if you touch them without knowing how.
Understandable.
John's gonna take a step away
with
from
a straight
Kazaro.
face, but she turns around and just like kind of grins.
Right then.
Go downstairs.
Yes, let's loot this place of anything valuable, because that's important. I don't think anyone else should benefit from this place other than us. We've been put through many trials of these women. So Karla is going to do, just for the sake of brevity, a head-to-toe investigation, just hunting down anything that's shiny, valuable, or interesting. Or there's a piece of paper with writing on it.
And do you wanna do that on the floor that you are right now already?
On every single floor. So as we're kind of walking down, that's what she's going to do. For the sake of brevity, I wouldn't want to, stop us each time.
Fair. Give me. Well, let's just do 4 rolls for that. So we'll count like top floor, second to top, second to bottom, and bottom floor. So give me 4 investigations.
4 investigations. Okay. It's one of them. You assign which one you want to assign which. Number 1
It's top and then going down.
Okay. From the top, 16.
Okay.
We then get a 26.
Okay.
Then we get a 17.
Okay.
22. Oh no, 24. Sorry.
And that's it.
And then that's it. Okay.
Yeah, it's 4 floors. All right. So top floor, other than the 36 bottles with the goopy liquid, if you will. There's nothing else that piques your interest here. There are a couple of like pieces of wood and the effigies, of course, which you don't really feel inclined to take with you because they're creepy. I imagine. I mean, if you still want to take them with you, fine. But my humble guess is that you might not want them. They don't really look like they have any value. Going to the next floor down. Let me just drag you along as we do. Casario, are you following suit?
Yes.
On the second floor, one that is all too familiar to you, there is still that iron cage, which it's lodged basically into the wall, but that might be worth something, maybe. Other than that, there's a dirty mattress. The mattress itself is stained and also looks like it's got mildew through it. There is nothing of value on this floor.
While we're on this floor, John kneels next to the cage and sort of puts his hand on it. Are there any like little toys or playthings that a child might have left here?
None whatsoever. You might expect them to be here next to the cage, but it seems that if they were there, that the hags got rid of them at some point.
I'm gonna go down. They're saying a brief prayer next to the cage.
Right. The next floor. Oh, sorry. There we go. The next floor, there's a bucket of water, there is a mop, and a couple of like other things to clean the place up. There are a lot of bags around. Most of them, luckily, empty. Some of them are filled, and they're closed, so you can't really see what's in there unless you open them up. In the middle, there is a grindstone, and the grindstone itself is currently not running. It's still like the rotisserie is still like turning, but it's not in active operation. In the grindstone itself, you can see a very fine, thin powder, as if something has been milled here relatively recently.
I think in the last session I had broken the connecting rod to it to make it stop. It was
In that case, it is indeed no longer operating at all.
because it was driving John a little mad.
And the body of the hag is here. On her body, is there anything?
No. Other than like some little like bones and stones and things you might expect on a hag, there's nothing interesting here. She has returned to her original form, which let me just show her. Like that is what she currently looks like.
John. Oh wait, never mind. Casario's gonna pull out her sword, and come over to it and just begin to hack off the head of the hag. Just take that sword and just.
Are you like trying to make a clean cut, or are you just like wildly chopping at it?
Nope, trying to make a clean cut, ideally.
Just trying to assess how you're
Ideally.
doing this.
Yeah.
It's unmoving, and your sword is pretty keen. Yeah, you make it in one cut.
Casario will pick up the head and hold it towards Karla. We should put this in the bag too, in case we have any questions, you know.
Of course. Karla will open the bag for it.
Drop it in. Hopefully your friend plays well with that creature.
If he doesn't eat it, then I'm sure he'll be fine.
Don't eat that head. Tell him not to eat the head. Important. We should keep that.
Bagman, darling, don't eat the head. That's not food. We'll let you know when we give you food. And I'll close the bag again.
As you open the bag to put the head in, like a skinny, sickly green brownish hag reaches out and grabs the head, and before it pulls it back, it says, "Oh, Horatio," and then it pulls the head in.
Don't you eat that head.
Would you like a head? We have another one downstairs that is disposable.
Oh, it's been so long since I've talked with someone. Yes.
It's
Sure.
like, okay. Yes, we'll get you the other head then. All right.
I'm gonna grab some of the all of the filled bags. If I can hold them, I'm grabbing them, and I'm gonna give them a proper burial.
What's your strength?
15.
Yeah, you can carry like there's. Let's just say for the sake of like, there's going to be 3 or 4 bags, and you will be able to take all of them with you. They're not that big.
Thank you. I'm basically just gonna, when we get downstairs, I'm going to dig a small ditch and try to bury them and say some words.
Okay.
Which I won't actually
I'll help
say.
him. But on the way,
you-
Casario like lifts up his cape and kind of wipes off her sword on the bottom of it, like without trying to be sneaky about it, you know? Bloody mess. That chopping off the head was?
Witch blood.
So-
That'll go wonderfully with the color scheme.
Well, I was trying to do it without you noticing, to be honest, but that perception of yours.
The bags, you didn't know what they're in, what's in there. Of course,
I
I
don't
mean, you
want
could
to.
probably make an educated guess, but as you pick them up, you probably know by feeling what's inside there.
Anything
Alright.
else of note in here?
Other than that, nothing of interest or anything that might that you might want to take with you.
All right, down we go.
Down you go. And downstairs, there might be something that you might want. I don't know. There's a couple of pies that are still on the stove that are about done.
They're getting thrown into the fire of the stove as soon as I see them.
Destroyed.
Fair enough. Other than that, there are some breads and whatnot that seem to be normal bread. They don't seem to be pies, but like, you're no baker. There's some cutlery, some dishware, some pots and pans, and there is a rather sturdy chest in the corner.
Oh, I'll pop myself over there and go to open it.
It's locked.
I'll use the magic key we have.
All right, give me a d20.
Okay. It's a 6.
It doesn't fit.
Oh, okay. Then I'll try to lockpick it instead.
All right, give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, that's much better. Okay. That is a 23.
Ooh, nice. The lock pops open with relative ease, even though it's a sturdy chest. The lock itself is kind of flimsy. As you open the chest, there's just rags in there and a single spider that quickly scatters away as you open the chest.
I'm going to put my hand on the bottom of the chest and see if it has a false bottom.
It does not.
Shame. I'll get up.
They burn the
and
rags.
leave it alone. Well, I mean, I think it's fine. You know, it seems to have spiders.
What did you
Right.
find in there?
Just some clothes. That's about it.
Why would they lock up clothes? Huh.
That
Which
is
is
a
strange.
very smart point, John. I want to take the rags and kind of closely inspect them. Is there anything about them that's interesting?
Give me a perception check.
I'm gonna lean over on the side of her, put my hand on her shoulder as I do, and cast guidance.
Oh, thank
Feel
you
free
so
to add that.
much.
I just think witches are weird.
Ooh, that
Hags,
boosted
actually.
that very high. Okay, so that is going to be a 19.
Okay. Upon closer inspection, they still very much seem like rags.
Motherfucker.
Rags like clothing, like old clothing, or rags like to wipe down something?
They are almost beyond recognition, but if you hold a couple of them up, they do have the shape of a body, kinda. So they might be dresses or something, but in its current stage, they're almost not even fit anymore to wipe a table with.
Does your
Get the-
bag thing wear clothes?
I actually don't know, but I wouldn't give him this. You know, I have some respect for him. Speaking of which, after we search the body, can we take the head for him of the other one? I'm gonna point
Okay,
at the other
outside.
hag that's down here.
Xaria will pull out her sword again. I didn't see why not.
Yes. So after checking the body, anything on her body?
No, same thing as with her sister. Some little bones, a couple of like small like effigies, like little feather and whatnot, but nothing of interest.
Take the head of that and I open the bag and go, Bagman, sir.
Yes.
We have a head that if you would like to eat, you can. Here you go, and I'll hand him that.
My diet restricts me to other matters, but hey, one head is better than two. I'll take it.
Wonderful. What do you eat?
Mostly lint.
Oh, well, actually, speaking of, we have full fabric, if that might interest you. And I'll give him the rags, if he would like them. Do these look appealing and tasty? If they don't, I'm so sorry.
Do you stuff them in the bag?
Sure.
All right. So you basically hear the equivalent sound of a big dog eating a bowl of yogurt.
Oh my goodness. Oh. You are so wonderful. He's a friend. I like him very much. If we get rid of him, I will cry. She's going to lock up the bag.
If he
I
doesn't
can't
eat that other head, then we will keep him. Sorry,
We
I
have
kind
two
of
of
yelled
them
into the
now.
bag.
I can't for the life of me understand how this went from like a cool encounter that's going to be kind of difficult to basically a semi-party member.
D&D.
This is what you wanted Stoker to
familiar
be. This is what you wanted that
This
dog
is so
to
much
be.
cooler than Stoker.
This is
Aw.
Karla's equivalent of what a dog should be. Anyways, well, utterly useless and poor. You think they'd have money, given everything that we went through for them. But off we go, I suppose.
You raise an interesting point, by the way, because as you know, they have spent countless hours making all these pies and selling them for at least 1 gold. You guys came up with a scheme to get more for them, but at least 1 gold. And seeing the amount of pies that came out from this place, kind of wonder where that money went.
Very much so. Yes, I'm very annoyed that I didn't find it immediately. But it could have been on Bleed Hag's body, and we left that in Barovia's castle. So
My mom hides a pouch of gold from my dad under a pile of books and stuff in the library. She told me not to tell anybody. Crap. Do you think they might do something like that?
I did a thorough investigation of each floor. I couldn't find anything.
True.
Maybe it's somewhere out here.
Well, there's one thing that's set me out here.
I'm actually going to look around for a nice quiet spot to lay these to rest.
As you look around, you notice that behind the windmill, there is a spot where there's a couple of stones that are rather elegantly organized. It almost looks like if nature had a hand in it, you know. Looks like a nice place where you might want to bury someone.
I'll start digging.
Right. Yeah. For the heck of it, that is what it looked like.
Oh.
So that's actually what I was just talking about. There is potentially a thing here. No.
Yes, apparently that more than anything does look like an altar that a druid might make. Yes, we might be able to contact her and maybe get her side of the story, but we have already given the gem away.
Right. Do we look messed up? Like, how much did that fight impact us?
I think
Barely anything for
we
me.
took a pretty tactical approach.
Yeah, physically not that much, other than the fact that you just cut off 2 heads, which that never goes not messy. So there's that. John's cape, for some reason, seems to be stained in blood. Who knows?
I've used prestidigitation to some of the strings that are around, just sort of, it wicks away the blood and it looks good as new.
Fair enough.
I don't want blood.
But other than that, like I imagine the mental stress might do something on you, but other than that, you're pretty fine.
I'm still holding several bags of presumably children. I'd like to.
I just wondered, should
those.
we well, not there, I don't think, but should we sleep before we attempt to speak to whatever is in that altar?
Oh, we technically have just woken up.
Oh.
We could go for a short rest, try to get some health. Do you need a sleep outside of character?
To get spell slots back, I need sleep, but I'm okay-ish. I've got a few.
I'm pretty okay-ish as well, yeah.
Do you want to go? I know that we have that gold over nearby. You want to go get that and then take a rest in the wind? No, not in the windmill. Maybe camping.
Yeah.
And then come over here.
Sounds good. Yes, because it'll be on the way back anyway towards either Argent-Vost or perhaps we can go to Kresk.
I'm sure we can find a nice quiet spot to bury these on the way.
By the river might be nice.
Yeah.
I don't think here near the spot where they were killed.
Oh, that would be much easier. We could just sprinkle them in the water. And you won't have to bury them.
John, John,
Don't children like water?
They do, but I think, John, you can agree with me that it might be just a touch more tactful to bury them. I can't believe I'm asking you about tactfulness, but...
Do bones float?
Oh dear, okay.
No, because if they float, then that might not be a good, because then they'll never be at rest. They'll just be floating on the surface of the water.
That is also true, yes. If you really would want to put them to rest, you'd need to get salt and fire given to both of them.
I was going to bury them and say a few words. I don't think we should destroy them.
Do you have a shovel? Forgive me for being practical all the time.
I'll be fine. I don't have a shovel. He points at the ground and just
sprinkle them in the water then.
a barrage of strings impact the ground, and I use Eldritch Blast. Is it possible for me to dig up a small hole with Eldritch Blast?
Technically, you need a target for it.
Damn.
so-
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I love it, but
No.
no.
I know that makes sense.
I know you would like to say a few words, but my method does definitely put spirits to rest. Whenever I happened upon an investigation that had a rowdy spirit that I needed to lay to rest, the
Fine.
simplest way was a burning. But we could make it more tactful. You could
If-
say your words, give
No, we
their
can-
souls rest.
How about this? We'll walk back towards that bridge where we found the gold, and if we find a small alcove or grove or something, we can do it there, and we'll do it your way, Karla.
Very well. Off we go then. We won't be sorry to see the back of this place.
Cassariel, I mean those Vistani live along the water. They'll just have a lot of bones floating down their river.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
I suppose we could put.
You guys
some
want to move
rocks
away
in
from
there.
here?
Yeah, we're gonna head back.
We'll come back to it later.
All right.
I suppose we can put some rocks in the bags and weight them down, but
That's usually what criminals do to get rid of bodies, which is not particularly good either.
well, we know it's effective then.
Very, takes the guard and everyone to ages to find them when they do that.
Sarah is completely uninterested in this, and she's heading towards that treasure chest.
Let's head
Yeah.
on.
Right.
Let us know when we're there.
You walk towards a familiar trail that a little further ways away indeed splits up again to, for you guys, the east towards Castle Ravenloft and to the south towards the falls.
I cannot remember where that village is. Is it
we're
down?
going here. We're going, yeah, right here.
Okay. Okay, radical.
It's
Alright.
the bridge.
You will reach the bridge by, it will be late afternoon by now, but still during the day.
Right. If we found any kind of grove or anywhere, we could have done our little ceremony, but we don't need to go into that.
Roll me a nature check, John. You're carrying the bag, so you want to get rid of these, I imagine.
You're so strong.
It's not so much get
Sarah
rid
just
of.
doesn't offer to help.
It's not so much get rid of. It's more along the lines of he's gonna try to find a nice place. He respects these.
Right. Okay, but you're the one.
Karla's
I
kind
get
of
a 7.
invested. Because Karla's kind of
7.
invested in this. Can I give him bardic inspiration?
Yes, you can.
Yes, so add a d8 to that.
Ooh. What are my D8s? I have so many of them. Why do I not have them? You know what? I'll take one of my smite D8s for this.
I imagine in order to give this inspiration, Karla is like, I've been to a bunch of different funerals, and she's just detailing them to try and help him figure out a clearing.
He's not even barely listening because I got a 1 on your bardic inspiration.
That's fair.
It's an 8.
Yeah, so I got an 8 total.
So looking around for like a nice place to leave these bags, at some point you notice, because like you're back in a bit of like hilly mountainous area, right? Not a lot of trees, not a lot of like alcoves as such, but there are some like rocky outcroppings here and there. And at some point you do notice one which technically the bags would be out of sight, but there is nowhere you're going to be able to dig down in that. You're just going to kind of have to stuff them in between the rocks.
Well, so we're gonna burn them. Like Karla
well,
said.
I mean,
salt
over
and
there
burn.
you won't, at least you won't burn any trees.
True.
Oh, right.
This
Well,
has a nice view, kind of. I look around at the sharp rocks everywhere. Like,
yes, I suppose better than anywhere. Okay, say your words and I'll do the dirty work.
he'll speak a few words. I'm not gonna say exactly what it says because I don't even know it. But he'll speak a few words and he'll take the bones out, almost reverently, placing them on the ground all together, and then he'll stand back and let you do what you do best.
Karla will take the pouch of salt from her pack, sprinkle that over some of the bones, and then light a match and toss it down for them to burn.
And burn they will, leaving a massive plume of smoke going up in the air right where you are right now. Well, where you were. So the fire is currently still going. But yeah, it catches fire and it totally burns.
Well, they won't be coming back to haunt anyone, which I think is as most we could give them. We should go.
Yeah,
And we'll
wish-
continue towards the bridge.
I wish we could have helped before they met that fate. But let's go, I suppose.
As I said, it's late in the afternoon, but you reach the bridge going over the water near the waterfall.
Excellent. Well, Karla's going to scout ahead and see if she can spot like that glimmer again. Within.
Yes, you can. You don't have to throw dice for that. Indeed, right where you're standing, if you look down, about 200 feet below you, you do see a shimmer in the water.
Still there. That's good. That bodes well.
And you said that this was a slanting path that was closer to the water the further down we got towards the bridge?
Correct. Saving me some time in trying to explain it, if you zoom in a little bit, you'll notice that closest to the waterfall is about 500 feet. Where you're standing right now is 200, and at the other side of the bridge, it's only 100. So it goes down pretty rapidly.
Shall we go down to the water over here? And he starts walking down the path towards the trees where it's...
Is Ariel just going to fly down and grab it?
I could do, but I'm not very strong. But I'll try. I'm somewhat curious what's behind that waterfall. Aren't you?
Didn't we actually hear something about the waterfall very recently? Oh my goodness, it's somewhere within my notes. I can't remember.
Will
Must be.
I look up and it's like almost a kilometer above me. Like, it's a tall one at that. Wouldn't want to fall down that path.
the time of day that it is? Would it be dim light or darkness?
I know where you're asking it, and you're on the brink, so I'm going to let the dice decide on that because
There's some trees down here, Kasaro.
I was like, I'm going to roll a d12, and like anything above a 6 is going to be fine, and I rolled a 6, so that doesn't help. Retry. And that's a 10. Yes, it is dim light.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. So first I'll come over here. I'm just going to take a very good look around, like, and just try to make sure there's no danger around that we're just going to be not aware of before we do this.
All right. Anything specific we're looking for? It's just general like perception
Yeah,
of just
I'm
anything.
looking for like, eyes in the tree lines or like weird footprints, maybe.
Now you have all the time
Creatures in the water.
You have all the time to have a look around, so I'm gonna let you do a perception check with advantage because you have all the time to take a moment to check your surroundings.
Okay. Okay, that is it. Was sorry, it's been so long. 14.
14. You don't see anyone that is watching you or anything that looks threatening. It's quite a ways away down. That's threatening in a way, but other than that, you don't see anything. Other than seeing, because you are doing perception, you're noticing that the faint mist that is coming from the water is cold-ish, and seeing as the sun is going down, it's not particularly warm here.
All right. Well,
Oh, my
Sure.
bag. It'd be easy for you to carry your things, then you could just put it in the bag.
oh, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll give her the bag
You
of
wanna
holding, so she...
You want to open up the bag of holding underwater.
Not underwater, she can hold it up and then scoop things in. So then it's not as
okay.
heavy. Because you're not physically carrying the gold, then you're just carrying the bag.
Okay, so Gasariel is going to, as she casts her Steps of Night, there's just like a little bit of like a cloud mist that appears beneath her feet, and she sort of just lifts up and then gently, slowly heads down.
All right.
Let me see, it's 1 minute. Okay,
John's gonna get out his rope and just be at the ready to like try to throw it to her if something happens.
Right. How much? You just have one length of rope, right? So
Yeah,
that's 60 feet.
Oh, 60. Okay, 50 feet, I think.
Yeah, it's somewhere like that, right?
I have a second length of rope, and then when we got into a confuddle, a third one, because we purchased more rope for some reason.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
I think
so
for this
I'll-
exact reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
So
like
we'll-
wrap it around my wrist and then just like head down if you guys want to. If you need to add more links, I'm going like fairly slow, like not super slow, but you know,
Yeah.
slow enough
we'll
for you to
tighten
add
do
more
that.
links, you know.
You can do that, but if you have 3 lengths of rope, you're not going to reach the water.
Yeah, it's only 120 feet. So I think we'll just stand near the bridge where it's 100 feet down. But it's just like if you run into trouble, you can move over and grab it.
Okay.
All right. So tell me what you do. You fly down, and then what?
Yeah. So just like I did before, I mean, it wasn't trapped before, but I guess maybe I'll take a look at it and make sure it doesn't look completely different than it did before.
It still looks pretty much the same from what you can remember.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I'll just open it and see what's inside.
All right. You open up the chest, and a quick assessment inside the chest and around it, there must be at least 300 gold here. Probably even more. It's a lot to count, and you only got a minute, but it looks like it's a lot.
Okay.
As you reach in the water to open up the chest to have a good look, you do notice that the water is freezing cold.
Okay. So I'm going to open up the chest and just start like hand tossing as much as I can into the bag of holding.
All right. I will give you 5 hands of gold from that. Allow me. That is 187 gold that you can add
Okay.
to your
I'll-
inventory for now.
I'll add it to mine because it'll be in the bag of holding.
Fair enough. And as you're doing that, can you give me a perception check?
Yes. Ooh. Oh god, I thought it was a natural 1. It's a 7. Ooh. 11.
11. Okay. You are not noticing the, the fact that from the waterfall, there's a couple of very small creatures dropping down with the water and hitting the water down there.
We're watching from above. Is there anything that we can? I can't really see that far in dim light, so never mind.
It's going to be tricky because it's also mist covered over here.
I'm watching her, not the waterfall too.
The 5 creatures move forward, and at this point, Casaria, you will notice them. What do you do? They look at a distance. They look about the size of, well, for lack of a better example, they look about the size of Stoker.
Okay.
And they look like they're tiny little flying creatures with rather long noses.
Do they look, in my assessment, do they look threatening or do they look like nice little flying long nosed creatures?
They don't look exceptionally terrible, but they're all looking at you, and they're also moving towards you.
I will close up the bag and just say hello and start heading up.
All right. You will. You're all the way down in the water, to the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your movement speed?
My movement speed is 30.
30.
Same as my flying.
Okay, you're gonna make it 100 feet up, 90 feet up. Sorry. Before these creatures will get very close to you.
Okay.
As
Are you-
soon as they get
Yep.
that close to her, Karla is going to send out a cloud of daggers in between her and them.
Awesome. Okay, that will negate combat. You are safe, so you can go up. That is a very smart move.
All right. So I get up there. I kind of plunk down and I'm like, what are those things?
I don't know, but I don't like how they were looking at you.
What things? Yeah.
So these creatures aren't especially happy to get killed, and they notice that something weird has gone on. So they're sort of like flying like flies underneath the cloud of daggers, all trying to get up, but they don't really seem to grasp the fact that you can also go around. But they're still like floating around there.
Are they
What do you guys
staying
do?
close to the water?
Relatively close, yes. So they're still quite a ways down.
Karla's going to message one of them, if she can.
Good question. Let me check. What do you want to say to them?
What are you?
It's the only thing
Wait.
we hear back.
Okay. Okay, I don't speak that language, unfortunately. But, okay, I don't like them. I don't feel like getting into a little bit of trouble. Do we want to get out of here as
They come
fast as
from
possible?
under the water. Where do they come from?
They came from the direction of the waterfall.
I'm really glad we didn't put the bones in here.
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Wait,
were you able to get it? Are you okay, Serial?
I'm fine. Thanks to Karla. I got, I don't know how many, but I put it in here, and I'll hand it back to, and then I'll step away from the ledge.
I guess if they're staying down there, should we just leave this place? It looks like they're part of the water. This land is strange.
As you guys step away from the ledge, not being visible to them anymore, but also losing eye contact with them, they sort of rest on the water and float downriver, under the bridge, and out of sight.
do we want to follow them?
Where does this water go again? Is that down to where the Vistani are?
Let me check my map. One moment.
I wonder if they know about these things.
From here, it seems to just lead. If I'm looking at the right thing, I could be very well not.
Have we been drinking this water?
I don't think we've been drinking water. I think we've been drinking exclusively wine.
I don't think Anna's wrong.
I feel so
I believe
dehydrated.
This leads down towards the city of it goes to the lake, the big lake where
Right,
the
where
Vistani are,
were.
and then it continues on towards sort of east of Barovia,
Well,
like the village of Barovia.
this place is weird. Want to go back?
Doesn't it seem... Wait. Perhaps if you were a water Fane, would you live in a waterfall? Or behind one?
Maybe, or maybe
mean-
you'd live in a lake.
We're a couple of, we're Silver Star who worships the loon. I've never been to the moon.
They mentioned other. Oh, interesting. They mentioned other gems. Maybe if the water Fane is there, we could possibly have access to another gem.
Such a doofus, John.
I think perhaps we should ask some of our allies about this and research it a bit. Because I feel something is here.
Maybe
Something
the
is-
gem makes these things. It could be back there.
Well, the Fane does.
Could be. But
You know what's going to happen. We're going to walk all the way back to the mill. The Fane's going to be there. They're going to say, oh, you should talk to my sister. She lives in a waterfall. We're be like, where? Walk all the way back here again.
it could be. But
Well,
we've
I
also
mean-
got more gold now, and we can go get your armor.
Sure. Thank you for that. I mean,
Oh no, we need about 200 more gold before we can do that.
Sarah looks down over the edge. Well, there was quite a bit more gold down there.
I think we've tested our limits. Best thing we can do now is pick up odd jobs, probably, and pay off that. Or, I mean,
Doesn't seem wise. However, I mean, it's right there. It's all we need to get John his armor.
I wonder if we
I
could work
still
at the
haven't
Sanguine
seen-
Rose. They look like they could use a guard. I mean, that lady at the front, she took all our weapons. She looks pretty handy, but I imagine she could probably use a guard.
Please ask them if they need anyone
I'll make sure.
they're hiring. Please, John. In fact, I think we should do that directly after this.
The Vistani are just over yonder. We could maybe ask them if they have anything that they can barter for some gold, maybe. We've picked up a couple of items that personally I'm not that attached to along the way. We could maybe get rid of.
Oh, don't you have a bag of marbles that's like... Can you sell marbles?
And it's a continuous bag of marbles. I'm sure I could just take a handful of them and give them the rest of the bag.
The two of you come here, please.
Okay.
Nasariel will put her hands over her eyes and kind of cover their eyes, and now you all can see in the dark. Now keep a better eye on me. Perhaps before they get to me. Let me know, eh? And,
Okay.
All right.
Before you go down, and Karla will dissipate the cloud of daggers.
Also, hang on. I'm going to go over to the bridge and try to tie off the rope to as sturdy of a thing I can find. Because I think we have 120 feet of rope with the rope that we've made, right? So...
It's 3 lengths, so that would be 150.
It's 3 lengths. So, yeah, so it'd be 150.
Okay, I thought it might take some to tie off, but that'll work. 150.
Yeah, I mean, ish. So, sure.
Cool. So
I have
whatever it
rope.
is. Yeah, go ahead.
50 feet of rope. Not really.
That was the third one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, got it. Okay.
So I'm going to tie this off and just he's going to sort of like put his arm around it and be ready to slide down if something goes down there.
Right. I will, once again, the mist will form underneath her feet, and she's...
Ooh, wait, before you do.
Oh.
If it can't see you, it might not go for you. And Karla's going to turn you invisible.
Cool. Okay.
Great. Perfect. And with that, I say good night, and I fall straight backwards. It looks like I do, but she really doesn't. She just like kind of floats down.
Karla, she told us to keep an eye on her. I can't even see her now.
Well, we know what direction she's going in.
So it was an absolutely really cool thing you did, Kazariel, but nobody saw it.
No. I know, yeah, that's true. She was like, fell off.
Yep.
Nobody saw it.
I could dissipate it at any moment. If we hear screams, I'll dissipate it, don't worry.
It's like that scene in Bond where Halle Berry just like drops backwards from a cliff. It's that, but nobody saw it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could have been your defining
Why
moment.
aren't they laughing? That was really good. Is my delivery bad? Oh. Right. Anyways, she gets down there as fast as she can, starts I won't say that word, starts gathering the coins and tossing them in the bag as much as she can.
You fist the water very quickly and try to get as much gold as you can in the short time that you have. And you manage to scoop up all the gold, save for a couple of gold coins that are still on the bottom. So you didn't get everything because you have to keep in mind that you only have a minute, which you do perfectly. So you will leave some gold on the bottom, but you will make it back in time. That will give you a grand total of... Hang on. Ooh, that's good. 194.
Excellent.
In addition to what you already had.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of gold in there.
Since they can't see her, when she flies back up, she flies behind John.
Yeah, he's basically leaning over the cliff looking for you like, where'd she go?
She just goes, ooh.
Yeah.
And she goes, hopefully he doesn't start to go forward, but if he does, she'll grab it.
As soon as Karla hears a scream, the invisibility drops. Are you okay? Oh, you're fine.
What do you think? 5 years of your life or 10? Maybe 2?
The rest of it, if I wasn't careful.
All right. I don't know how much that is, but hopefully enough to get your armor.
It is. We're good. With the amount that I had and that, we're good.
Excellent.
Alrighty.
All right, with that several years of my life gone, I think we're ready.
All right.
Really, you should be used to it by now. You'd think.
I'm not used to you being invisible.
Ah, that's true.
Truly our deadliest weapon. Okay, we'll head back towards the Fanes. As soon as it
Alright.
gets dark, though, we'll
Make camp.
I think we'll make camp. Yeah.
If you want to move until it gets dark, you will get just before the split off to Castle Ravenloft.
Alright.
So if you want to move that far, then you can.
We'll get there, and then in that sort of like cross section, we'll find a little way off, maybe a clearing of trees, and plop down.
Which you can. All right. Let me. Hey, where did I leave that?
Where did I leave what? Your campsite.
Yeah. You can no longer camp because I lost the map of that.
No.
It just gets away from us. Oh.
Oh, there it is. I was going to say. And as the night sets in, you put your camp down to rest and eat and share stories and whatever else you want to do to take your rest.
Karla is going to crack open the Tome of Strahd. Begin deciphering it. She's going to spend 3 hours on it.
All right. Casaria, what do you do?
Do you think this Fane is going to like us, or perhaps try to kill us? Any thoughts there?
I mean, it seems to be a 50-50 in this world. We've met very powerful creatures that seem to like us, and she'll glance at the bag. But then we've met friendly old women who bake children into pies. I'm not too sure. Best to be prepared for both.
Speaking of the Dark Elves, I can't remember his name. I have it in my notes somewhere. But he seemed to know quite a bit about the Fanes, did he not?
We knew this story, Casimir, his name was. He gave me his
Casimir.
dagger.
Yes.
He knew the story, and he said to return the gem to the Fanes. And that will help in terms of defeating the darkness in this land. But he didn't seem like those crazy druids. So I don't know, did we do the right thing, giving that gem to
Well,
His Majesty?
I'll certainly take the blame for that. However, I don't see that we had much of a choice. I mean,
That is true.
I-
We could ask her. I mean, the best thing we can do is get there and hopefully be able to at least contact any remnants of her, or perhaps a guardian of her that's there, and gain advice, feel it out. We know too little at the moment.
I doubt we really had a choice when we ran into Strahd on the road. You saw what he did to Ismark.
Starting to think he was a very brave man. To stand up for what was right to him.
Yeah, but
Foolish man.
I
A
wish we could have
foolish
done
man charges in
it in a different way. Yes.
with just his righteousness behind him, with no tact against an enemy like that. It's a fool that does that.
He gets to die and say that he stood for everything he believed in, though.
Does he?
I-
And what does that get him?
Who knows? Death is the last great mystery, after all.
Not for you, though, it seems.
Well, I'm fascinated by the dead, well, not the dead in particular, by spirits, ghosts, things that cling here, and not going wherever it is they're meant to go. That's very interesting to me, because as soon as I know where they're meant to go, I'll be dead myself. So, always curious about why they hang on.
Karla, you are a genius. All we need to do is find someone that's died here, an adventurer that's died here, and we can speak to them. We can ask them. Maybe they've found out more than we have, or Or they know something that we don't know.
Maybe. Your mother, did she arrive here alone? Or was she like us? Did she have a party with her?
She did arrive here alone. She was set to go somewhere else, but she did arrive here alone, and the people that she was on a boat with, she teamed up with him, as it were.
Interesting. Yes, we'll have to find out. Maybe we could ask sort of any village or people we come across if there's a local hero or an adventurer that they heard of where he or she perhaps fell, and talk to them, because if they're renowned enough, they must have done something great. We'll have to. That's a very good idea. Pooling knowledge.
Anyway, are you reading anything good in that book of yours?
Takes forever to decipher, but hopefully we'll get more answers out of this.
I think
She'll return to it.
John's sort of staring into the fire. He's thinking about, the children and the witches, but he's also kind of thinking about, he's hearing his friends talking about bringing back a adventurer who died, and how he's always abhorred necromancy and anything involving the undead, but it's almost like so far they've had to deal with this almost as if it's a okay tool to use, and he's sort of coming to terms with that.
Actually, fallen venturer. Strahd mentioned your brother, John.
Yeah, he mentioned James. Or he talked about my last name. He said something about knowing him.
Varenthal. Yes, if the circumstances of your brother's death, your mother, she sends me an awful lot of letters about them. I've investigated them, but always wrote them off. There was no follow-up, but do you think he may have ended up here like us?
I can't imagine. As far as I know, he died a hero's death. He went into battle, and his soldiers came back and said that they saw him go down, and he wouldn't. If he went down, I can't imagine that I'd like to believe that maybe there's a chance, but James was always the hero.
Maybe it's grim to think about, but maybe if somehow he ended up here and somehow he might have more information, could be a good lead to follow. That's just all I'm saying. I'm going to go back to the book.
You said you spent 3 hours on the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you dive further and further into the book, you've had 3 chapters. You're currently working on what you think is chapter number 4. You spend an awful lot of time trying to decipher what it says, and every single time you start a new chapter, it's like as if you're starting with the first chapter. The words that you've read before seem meaningless to the new chapter, as it's all one big blur, but as you take your time to look at the words on the paper, slowly they do begin to materialize into a coherent story. Give me a raw intelligence check.
Uh-oh. Okay, that's a 6.
That is enough.
Oh.
You need a very little intelligence check on this one, but you do.
Even I could have made this one.
What a 4.
As you get through these pages and you start to connect letters and words together, at some point you do start to be able to read a little bit from this chapter. And you notice that it starts with the words, "Then all my disparaging thoughts fell away, like dead leaves. She was, without doubt, the most beautiful person I'd ever seen. And as you read these words, you slowly succumb to the power of the book. The three of you falling slowly unconscious as the book takes you in for another chapter.
I slump forward into the fire.
Don't make it canon.
No. JK.
As you open up your eyes, you notice around you, you are sitting in a magnificent feast hall with 3 enormous crystal chandeliers brilliantly illuminating the entire room. Pillars of stone stand against dull white marble walls supporting the ceiling. At the center of the far west wall, between floor to ceiling mirrors, brass pipes climb the stone like grapevines. They extend upward from the wooden base of an expensive-looking pipe organ. The grand fireplace set into the southern wall blankets the room in a homey warmth. You are seated at a dinner table, and it seems you are not alone. John, Casariel, you seem to be sitting next to each other. Opposite you, you notice that Karla is sitting in the far corner. As your vision clears, you notice that there are more people sitting around you. Next to Karla, an elderly gentleman sits with long white hair that you think you've seen before. Next to him, a younger woman that you believe you might have seen in passing in an earlier story. Next to her, an all too familiar face as Rahadin is sitting there, not a day older or younger as you have seen him. Last time you had dinner with him. Next to him, someone that you don't recognize, a lady, wearing a fancy dress and a beautiful necklace with a giant red garnet on it. On the opposite side of the table next to John are 2 familiar faces, though they seem different. The very corner of the table sits who you think is Sergei von Zarovich, as you've seen him at the gazebo of Kresk. Looking a little younger than when you've seen him, but seemingly very much alive here. Next to Sergei, in between Sergei and John, sits a girl who, by all accounts, looks exactly like Irina. Though her hair is slightly darker, her lips are slightly redder, and the clothing that she's wearing in between all the people that are currently at the table seems rather plain, almost peasant-like. It's neat, it's well kept, but it looks cheap rather than the expensive clothing that everyone else is wearing. At the head of the table, unmistakably, sits Lord von Zarovich. The dinner is currently underway, and there is talking at the table. Topics vary from politics to the weather and the worshipping of the Lord of the Sun. The discussion, that does not involve you just yet, suddenly shifts as the lady with the dark hair sitting opposite John points at Casariel and she says, "What about you? You are wearing a rather interesting necklace. Is that also of a deity?"
Oh, it's a family heirloom. That is all.
Is it religious? I love religion.
Oh, no, not really. No, it's just a trinket, really.
Oh, I could have sworn. Anyways, religion is such an interesting topic, isn't it?
Of course, you should always speak about religion at dinner parties, of course, and politics as well.
She gets a little nudge. She gets a little nudge from Rahadin, he says, try not to upset the rest of the guests. We are trying to keep it civil here.
Are we wearing something fancy?
You are, yes. Sorry, I should have added that in. You are not wearing like your normal clothing and armor. You're basically wearing the clothing that you were wearing at the last dinner party. Though it seems a little dated. It's not the current fashion. What you were wearing last time you were actually having dinner with Strahd was kind of the latest fashion, but like very classy. What you're wearing right now is still very classy, but...
Do I have a cape?
To compare it to nowadays, it's almost as if you're wearing like Victorian era dresses and garments. So it looks really good and well kept, but it's old.
People quit dressing me without my consent.
Which one of them was it that asked me that?
The one that is sitting opposite John.
Got it.
And when they're talking about the Lord of the Sun, are they specifically saying Lord of the Sun, or are they saying Morning Lord?
They are saying Morning Lord, yes.
Okay. I was going to say, oh, don't you mean the Morning Lord? Anyway.
The gentleman with the white hair like regards that as you say that. He says, "Oh, that blasted like Morning Lord malarkey. Yeah, you know, faith is faith, and it's for those who don't have anything else to hold their standards to. It's just, you know, some people need that."
Fascinating take. Hi, I'm Karla Lalakot. I was going to say, leaning over to hold her hand out to him.
And he looks at you like we're at a dinner table, but he still offers to take your hand and lift it to his lips without kissing it. Charmed, I'm sure. How's the veal?
The veal? Oh, I don't eat meat. So you think, well, what standards do you hold, you know, yourself to if faith does not hold your standards?
Oh, honor and glory and respect to our lord of, you know, this land. And he raises his cup to Strahd, and Strahd just grins back.
Karla will like raise her cup as well towards him, painful smile on her face, and be like, "I didn't catch your name." To the gentleman next to her. What was it? I'm so sorry. Terrible guest, I know.
I know sorry. My name is Leo. Leo Delisnia.
Leo Delisnia. Why?
Where's Saint Angel? He was here last time we were here.
Rahadin looks at you and he says, "Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. Certain sermons that required his attention."
That makes sense.
Yes.
I was in a duel last time I was here. And am I the same? Kasariel, are we the same people? I don't know what's going on.
Quite out of sorts myself.
The first time we saw
Sergei.
Rahadin. Okay, good.
Sergei looks over the table as you mention a duel, and he says, "I don't remember you at a specific duel, but I mean, you look like the kind of sport who would totally, you know, be a great sport to join in. You should try sometimes. You know, dueling is fun."
The girl across from me, was she the one that I dueled last time in our
Yes.
thing? Yeah, so I look across there. I think I beat you last time.
She looks back at you
sure.
while sipping her wine, and as she sips her wine, she lifts her lips from her cup and she says, "Don't threaten me with a good time, sweetheart."
I don't get it.
That tracks. Anyway,
So in character.
lovely dinner. Thank you, my lord.
Yes, of course. Tatiana, and he directs his attention to Tatiana. Where were you living again, you said? And Tatiana just looks down at her plate and she says, "Oh, I live in Barovia, sir. I mean, my lord. And you notice that as she's answering and stammering, she is either very shy or she's just not used to join in fancy dinners where certain manners are like expected. She feels rather out of sort, it seems.
I thought she was Strahd's sister last time or something, says the Casario.
How loud is this?
He's talking to you like
I'm debating.
He's not hiding it, but he's also not like bellowing it out.
I'll allow it as a whisper. Sure.
Oh no. You didn't miss her, darling. No, it was Casario tries to think of something that rhymes with that to try to cover John's tracks, and she just like
John sort of reaches forward to some food and just starts like eating. Right here.
The lady to the right of Strahd taps his arm and she says, "Oh, darling, shouldn't you just leave her be? After all, this is her first grand visit to a castle. Girls like that aren't used to, this kind of, gatherings. Give her some slack, will you?"
It's your first visit, is it? Karla's going to point over to Tatiana, kind of trying to engage her very friendly.
She looks at you with a very warm smile and she says, "Yeah, it is.
It's very exciting."
It is. But I'm very honored to be here, sir, my lord. And all of you, of course.
I'm very curious about you. I know it can be quite overwhelming, but I am a writer. That's my hobbies. Do you have any, Tatiana?
Rahadin jumps in and he says, "I'm sure that her hobbies are quite fascinating, of course, being from, the village. So, yes, perhaps she should share that with us." Tatiana feels looked at by everyone as everyone falls silent to listen, and she says,
John stares at her.
"You're not helping."
Does she look very visibly uncomfortable?
Yes.
I'm so sorry to put you on the spot. I can share one of mine, maybe. If the Lord will permit it, I would love to play a tune on that grand piano in the back. Grand organ.
Rahadin cuts in again and he says, "Surely that can wait until dessert." Sergei jumps over that and he says, No, we need some festivities. It's always so boring here, right, brother? And he elbows Strahd.
I like him. I agreed.
Of course, to your lord's discretion.
Fine. Play a tune.
Excellent. Karla is going to get up from her seat and take sort of a lap this way. And as she sort of goes past Tatiana.
You mean...
Do I have access to my magic?
Let me check. While I'm checking, tell me why.
I want to send her a message.
Technically, no, but let's see what happens. Sure.
Karla is going to try and reach out with her mind and connect with this. All of this feels like a vision, and she knows logically this is a vision. This is something that's being presented to her. She doesn't know if anything they're doing has real life effects beyond what's happening, but if she can even instill anything into this woman, she will send a small message into her head saying, "Do not trust Strahd." And then she will continue on to the organ as if she had not done that.
All right. As you move along, you see Tatiana just jolt in her chair and in so doing, hit her plate. Her plate holding some soup just splashes over her and she looks a mess.
Darling.
I'll stand up and take my napkin over.
She got some on my cape. Sorry.
John, give me that. I'll take it off
She
her.
takes the cape.
Use it to
Oh.
help her.
The lady
My darling,
next
you
to
look somehow even more lovely with soup all over you. How do you manage it?
Tajana cracks a smile at that, like enjoying the fact that you're being very friendly to her. The lady next to Strahd taps Strahd on the arm again, and she says, "See what I mean? She is very nervous. Perhaps we should just talk about other things, like, for example, your latest conquest or something, or maybe."
I'll
Maybe we
play
can
a
talk about-
welcoming song. Karla will say.
This is the first time I've heard her play anything other than bagpipes. It's gonna be great.
She's great at this. She only knows funeral marches, unfortunately. So she plays her most elegant and beautiful funeral marches, like the kind that you play for like young girls who have died. That's what she plays. She plays like it's soft, it's delicate, it's beautiful, but it is distinctly a funeral march.
Don't you have something that can help? This lovely girl.
Do I have access to prestidigitation?
Sure. Like I'll allow like the simple non-combat spells for this. Sure.
Okay, so
like, you know, she
he'll-
can do message. You can do prestidigitation.
Yeah, he'll clean he's cleaning his own cape, and at the same time he'll clean her soup off.
Okay, sure. So you also try to muffle it away, and in that I will allow it. Yep.
There you are, my darling, as if nothing ever happened. And Casario will toss John's cape back on his lap and sit back down.
Here, and he'll also give her his soup. He's like, "Fine, I wasn't eating it anyway. Here, you can have mine."
The lady next to Strahd once again comments on this, and she says, "Perhaps she can just go and change. I mean, she looks a mess." And as she says that, Rahadin jumps in and he says, "Patrina, perhaps focus on some other things. The girl has it hard enough as it is. Right, my lord." And Strahd is just looking in between and ultimately says, "Yes. Are you okay, Tachana? Do you need any assistance?" Tachana looks down at her plate and then at Strahd. And then she looks at Sergei, and you notice there's a warm smile on her face as she does that, and she says, "No, I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine."
Are you gonna eat that?
What do you point at?
And he just points at something in front of her, like a roll or something.
You notice that on the table there are at least 50 other rolls, but she looks distinctly at the one place in front of her and she says,
Poor peasant girl.
"Please, go ahead. Have your fill."
Thanks. Sorry, last time I was
So
here,
funny.
it was a different crowd, and I don't think I got any bread. It was just meat.
Of course.
Thank you.
Karla, that's lovely. I didn't hear
What?
you say.
Oh, isn't it so lovely? Yes, and very subtly, Karla will start to shift the music over towards Casariel's song that she keeps mentioning. Very subtly.
Do you know the tune to that?
I think you've pointed it out, haven't you?
Played it.
Like it's familiar.
Ooh. Is
Yeah.
Karla being possessed and she plays it? That would be cool.
Well, that's the question. Like, do you know you've heard it, but do you know the melody?
I know that it's important to Casariel, that's about it.
Has been on my to-do list to tell you two about that.
All right, let me let's do it this way because I do like that. Roll me a d20. Let's see what happens.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
Okay,
Let's go.
you will play at least
Grania
part of
dice.
this.
Let's go.
You will play part of the tune perfectly, but you will not know the entire melody. That's sheer impossible.
Mhm.
But you will play part of it, which obviously might be recognizable by those who recognize the tune. I'm gonna quickly look if I can find it, but feel free to continue.
Yeah. She kind of plays it subtly as she kind of turns back to kind of grin at Casariel for the comment that she made, being like, "Isn't that so wonderful, Karla?" And she kind of is. She's almost kind of like giving a nod to Casariel when she's doing this. That's why. Being like, I know your songs. I don't know just funeral marches.
Rahadin, I've seen you.
Casariel,
Sorry.
gives, as John begins to say that, and Karla looks back at her, Kasariel is like,
Rahadin, I've seen you in battles and things with Saint Andrel, and I've seen you without Saint Andrel when he was dead. You've never looked different. You're always the same. You have like a cream or something.
Curious. I don't believe I've seen you in battle before.
You were like,
where was it that we met?
There was a paladin. They were burning a village or something.
Raiden shoots a look over at both Leo and Strahd. And all three look at you and they say, and you are what? A foot soldier?
I don't know. You were talking to us like a lieutenant or something, but that's a very beautiful song, Karla.
Thank you.
John,
Sergei looks.
we were speaking to. Yes.
Sergei looks around Tachana and says, "Well, then you must be a hero if you fought in the army. I didn't know you were serious about the sparring and all that, but if you have military experience, next time you should really join in with the next tournament. It will be fun."
Back at you. I saw you and Strahd there. You sparred, and I think Strahd ended up prevailing, but it was a grand fight, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that I beat him, didn't I, brother? And he elbows Strahd again. Strahd looks like very pissed off at that.
Huh.
How interesting. Beautiful. I mean, nothing could dull the shine. It comes from my lord, certainly. Though others may try.
Yes. Of course. As long as it's in the family, of course, Strahd says.
You are very generous to allow him a win or two.
Yes, aren't I?
You are, of course.
Karla's going to get up
that,
from her seat.
As he says that, he shoots a look over at Tachana while he says that he's being generous. And Tachana feels his eyes on him, and she just stares down, a bit nervous.
While that's happening, Karla's going to push out her seat distinctly back hard enough to hit Strahd's seats as she gets up.
All right. Let me get a dice for that.
Make an attack roll. Wow.
Cool.
Karla's just kind of tap where her armor isn't, smiling at Karla, trying to indicate,
Karla's just pushing her seat back. Completely innocuously. Did not mean to hit the Lord. Absolutely not.
So as you push back, you hit his chair, and as Strahd was just caught in a moment of staring at Tachana, he totally didn't see this coming, and a goblet of wine just splashes onto him. Him being the second guest at the table that is now covered in, just food and stuff. As this happens, the girl with the black hair just breaks out in bellowing laughter.
John?
You want me to get that?
I'm so sorry, my lord. I don't know my own strength sometimes. Oh, and she's distinctly not going to help him. She's going to walk back to her seat. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Once again, take John's cloak and carry it over to the Lord and offer it over to him, kind of smiling between the lady that seems to be his lady and him. You were speaking of conquest. Perhaps we should continue that. What our most recent conquest? Now that was something. Perhaps we should all tell our favorite moments. Starting with you, of course, my lord. I'll just leave the cloak there and sit back down.
He sits back, just expecting you to actually help him clean off, as he is the lord of the land, and he gets just a cloak draped in his lap. Like, sure. Well, my most recent conquest was, of course, that of the forests in the west, now making sure that the land completely belongs to our family. I feel that we have made a grand move, and now that we have gotten the entire situation under control, I feel that peace has once again settled here. Wouldn't you agree, brother? Sergei just sort of nods, looking at Tachana and then looking back at Strahd, saying, "What? Yes, yes, we showed them, I guess."
Is that where the winery is? Over in, because we've been over there, haven't we? He's gonna say to. He's just gonna sort of say that out loud.
Rahadin cuts in and says, "Yes, the winery has been liberated and is now producing a lot of wine for all the inhabitants of our lands."
Cool. You guys can deal with the big stick guy, the druids,
No. What druids?
out in the woods. Real creepy stuff. They're doing, like, there was a lady in a tree and she had no eyes and she told us something about it was weird.
I'm sure my lord means the fight against the Dark Elves.
Oh.
No, they were not. I don't think they were dark elves. They were. Did they wear tree bark on their clothes? Because
No, I believe this is actually a different battle. We have been very busy recently, but this one, I believe, I heard only little of it, but a name got whispered in the wind. Casimir. And as she says that, she's going to really look at Strahd. Was the leader? I've heard sort of the leader of the Dark Elves. One of his name. I'm not too sure. Could you recount that battle for me? Very interested.
Strahd shrugs and says, "I care little of the names of my enemies. I only care that they are vanquished, and vanquished they are. Broken and no longer fit for fighting."
Of course, my lord.
I guess diplomacy wasn't an option.
Leo chips in on that and he says, "I guess there are more ways to victory than one, but yes, leaving them broken is one way, my lord. And of course, you did what you thought was best."
And Karla's going to kind of lean back a little bit in her chair and very softly say to him and be like, "What would you have thought was best?" Trying to kind of keep the conversation between them and not the table.
He'll lean back to you and say, "I prefer the more honorable approach."
Starl stomps John's foot with the heel of her
No,
whatever she's wearing on her feet.
I was. Ow! What?
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say that I was always taught and raised to try to avoid conflict and avoid violence if at all possible, even if you have power, and that's even more of a reason to not use it. But recently, we came up against something that was more horrifying than I could ever imagine, and the only option was to crush them. I can understand where you're coming from, and he'll direct that to Strahd.
I am glad that my decisions can find acceptance amongst my guests. Sergei looks around the table as the plates are getting emptier and the wine glasses are getting emptier. And he looks at his brother and he says, "Strahd, dear brother, if you would permit me, it is getting rather late, and I feel that I must excuse myself and Tatiana. I have to return her to the village down the hill before nightfall, lest people might think we do have more indecent. Nevertheless, I have to bring her back. You do understand that, right?" And Tatiana very warmly smiles at him.
Do you need an escort? We could bring you there. We're quite capable.
Sergei grins at you and he says, "Oh, I'm perfectly fine that I can handle this myself."
Karla is going to look at Tatiana and be like, going to look at Sergei and be like, "Oh, that question wasn't directed towards you, my lord," and turn to Tatiana. "Would you care for an escort to bring you back to the village?"
Tatiana smiles at you and then looks back at Sergei, and you notice there's a warmth coming from her as she looks at him. And she says, No, I think I should go. I don't want to stay here longer than I have to. I mean, as Petrina said, I should not overstay my welcome. I'm, of course, but a simple townsgirl.
You don't want to stick around for dessert?
Strahd joins in with that, and he says, exactly, we still have dessert, and other than that, you should not feel that you are unwelcome here, even though you might be a girl of the commoners. You are more than welcome in my castle. Rahadin, could you see to it that a room is prepared for Tatiana? I would prefer her to stay up here, rather than going and traversing the darkness down. Of course, Sergei, you have no problem with that. Sergei looks at his brother and he says, well, and he looks over at Tatiana and says, what do you want? And you notice that it gets really silent at the table. Petrina joins in and taps Strahd on the arm, and she says, well, thanks, John. It gets very quiet at the table, save for John, who is just feasting upon the last scraps.
Like a horse.
Retcon.
Kasarl, again, stomps on his foot.
Ow!
Put it down.
Petrina taps Strahd's arm and she says, well, perhaps it is better that Sergei escorts her down. She, after all, might be better off with her family. You know, what might the townspeople think, you know? And Rahadin cuts her off and he says, I feel she should stay. I agree with the Lord that it's getting dark and who knows what might be out there. I mean, of course, we all respect Sergei's prowess in defending whatever he deems defendable, but he is but one man, and even perhaps with more escorts, who knows what might happen. No, she should stay in the castle. I will go and make the room ready at once, sir.
Well, I mean, if we're all in debate, may I introduce this very foreign concept to you monarchs, of course. Democracy! Shall we take it to a vote? Shall we?
Do you start by already lifting your hand with something?
Oh, I propose that Arena should... Sorry. You look so close to a friend of mine. Tatiana should return to her home, preferably with whoever she wishes.
John chips in and says, yeah, Arena was pretty good with a blade, I think, when we last saw her.
So, all in favor of Tatiana returning to her home, hands up now.
I mean, I think it's her decision.
John Casario, do you join in with voting?
He's sort of...
Democracy!
I think it's her decision.
Democracy!
None of
That
my
was the decision she wanted to make.
Yeah, it's not my business to tell her what to do.
Casario?
Saril just looks between Karla, everyone, and just smiles. She's gonna very pleasantly just bat her lashes and remain neutral in this fight.
You notice that with Karla, there are two hands that immediately shoot upward, which are the hands of Leo and Petrina, who both couldn't
glares
raise
at Sergei. She glares at Sergei to put up this hand.
And you see Sergei doing that, not sure, like looking at Tatiana, and Tatiana looks around the table, then looks at Strahd, and she says, "I will respect the wishes of my lord, of course. If you think it best, I will of course stay. If Sergei stays as well, of course." And Sergei immediately jumps in with that and he says, yeah, of course, in separate bedrooms. You know, not that, you know, if anyone else would think anything. But of course, I will stay too. So we can have breakfast tomorrow. That would be fun.
What's for breakfast?
Sadly,
What do
there's
you
no
have?
safer place than the castle.
Oh no, this is great. Sorry, we're getting
Try
dinner,
democracy.
desserts, and breakfast.
Imagine what they might have. The possibilities are endless, John.
This place is awesome.
And
This
as
place is
you're
fantastic.
as you're waiting for dessert, you notice that the small talk is continuing at the table. Two people not joining in with that are Sergei and Tatiana, both looking at each other lovingly, almost longingly. You can definitely see that something is brewing there. Right next to them, Strahd has a different look in his eyes. And the darkness slowly starts taking you away from the table. You hear the words, "It was as if the sun that had favored me had been all along hidden by a cloud. Its brilliant glory now shone in full upon him, and him alone."
John says, "Wait, we don't get dessert."
Indeed, you do not. You are whisked away
Ruined.
to the castle courtyard.
Oh, exciting.
There you go. A little to the right.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, sorry. Thank you.
It takes a second.
I remember being here.
You are whisked away to the castle courtyard, where Strahd walks alongside Tatiana in the soft dusk light. As they're walking, he looks at Tatiana and you hear him asking her, "So, what do you think of my castle? Its grandeur, its architecture, and what do you think of the room I prepared for you? Is it to your satisfaction? Is it everything you would have hoped for in staying in a grand castle like this?" And she smiles in a friendly manner at Strahd and she says, "Everything is wonderful, old one." Strahd's eyes momentarily grow wide as if a knife has pierced his chest. The sound of a gentle harp strums over the quiet courtyard. You see Tatiana looking over the plants with a smile on her face as Strahd stands there, as if mortally wounded by those words. Old one. The mists once again blind you. And you then hear a soft giggle coming from Tatiana. John, it's in the lower left corner. By the way.
Oh, I didn't know we were actually moving.
Yep, we're moving to a third one.
Oh, okay, cool.
You hear a giggle from Tatiana. It was behind you, and as you turn around, you are whisked to another room that you hadn't been before. You see Tatiana sitting on a stool in a grandiose paneled music room. Her hair has grown several inches, and her homely vestments that she was wearing at dinner have been replaced by simple but a beautiful summer dress. A stunning harp is playing music, which is drifting gently through the air. And you see Strahd, who's playing it, plucking at the instrument, entirely at peace, and enraptured by Tatiana's joy as he is playing music for her. Almost frozen in time, the two began to sing together, and a subtle tune fills the room. Words are born into the air and quickly fade out in the wind, but they find their way inside you, where they live on forevermore. When the skies are dark and full of rain, look inside your heart. A light so warm will come and glow, shining just like the sun. You can see just how much you've grown, how strong you are. A love will open up to you, and it starts from the day that you first heard those words. The music very slowly playing as the two share a moment almost of kinship and maybe. And the door swings open, and in steps Sergei. Tatjana stands up. She bows towards Strahd. And then she hurries towards Sergei. And she hugs him so tightly that as they're hugging, he lifts her up, rising her from the ground. He spins her around, and the room around you is slowly fading. In the meantime, I quickly have to do something, so give me 1 second.
No problem.
Is that another custom song?
Excuse me?
Is that another custom song?
I sang that, yes.
So exciting!
Was that Marissa, or was that another song that you got from?
It is a song suggested by Pyram King that said that this would be a perfect song for this moment. And it is a copyright-free song with a voice that I honestly forgot, so I have to look up who that was. But I sang Strahd's voice to that. And I'm not the best singer, but hey, there you have it.
I thought it was a great rendition.
Well, thank you. We're going to have a quick map change.
I almost called Leo Saint Angel. I just thought he was like, I knew there were two older guys, and one of them was Saint Angel and one wasn't. So
he so looks like it, right?
On the hunt for this man now that I know his name.
Leonidas, the king of lions. No.
There we go. Sorry, that took a quick second because I had to actually switch out the map. There we go. Tatjana continues to spin, and her already stunning dress morphs into a blossoming red gown with a large petticoat. She now dances in a ballroom, the same hall where you sat for dinner, now cleared for a crowd. She whirls to the tune of a now lively pipe organ and a small band. Her outstretched hands clap with Sergei's as he forms from the mist, and they are entwined, twirling and floating through a crowd of nobles, all doing the same. All but Lord Strahd, who sits starkly below a deathly still portrait of his own likeness. You are joined in the festivities. Are you dancing or are you watching?
How did we come into this space?
You were standing at the side. So basically where you are right now.
Karla will reach her hand out for what's her name?
That will be Ilona.
Ilona, and offer her hand for a dance.
All right. Quickly looking if I got a music for that. I don't really do, so we're going to go with that one still. Still going to sound a bit like a dinner, but at least it's something. There we're going to go. And sure, she takes your hand and she joins you in dance. She rather enjoys that.
Exciting.
Are the people against the wall above John and Casariel, are they standing on the side or are they dancing as well?
That's the band. They're playing music.
Oh, okay. Casariel? I don't really know much about dancing, but I can probably...
Azariel flips her hand into John's and says, I'd love to.
And they start dancing.
Rahadin also steps to the side, not feeling particularly inclined to dance, and Patrina walks towards Strahd and says, are you going to invite a lady to dance, or are you just going to moke about over here? Leo hurries to her and he says, perhaps you would like to dance with me. We'll give Lord von Zarovich a moment. He seems to be troubled by something. We'll take a moment. And she takes his hand and joins him in dance.
As they're dancing, what do you think is going on with Strahd?
I think it seems fair that he's very much in love with our Tatiana.
Really?
It's not really. Yes, I think he's quite in love with her, and clearly she's in love with his brother.
Ah, that sucks.
It does suck. John. Yes, it does.
Sorry. That's
Terrible.
Terrible.
Well, have you ever been in love?
I had a friend in school, but I got pulled out so quickly to go to training to be a silver star. I never really went anywhere. How about you?
As the dance... Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, me? No. I just want to kill things, you know? That's really been my focus for all my... It's weird that we haven't talked about this before. Isn't that strange? That's silly.
I imagine we have. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah.
It is so sincere that John has never talked about this. I firmly believe that.
I also firmly believe Casariel would not allow herself this vulnerability.
Hadn't occurred to me. No.
Karla, on the flip side, is having a similar conversation, not about that, about very interesting the politics and relationships that are happening within the von Zarovich family at the moment, is what she's going to say to Ilorna, trying to elicit like gossip, basically.
Oh, and Ilona just joins in with that, and she says it's absolutely amazing, isn't it? I actually think he has it in for, and like, but, they're together, I think. So.
Oh, but confirmed. Yeah. I mean, he would hardly spite his own brother, would he?
I mean, I don't think so.
He has to have a heart in this somewhere.
Yeah.
Ice prince that he is, and she'll like spin Ilorna like very far and like just do a little boogie and continue on.
Had to do the quick move. As you guys are dancing, Strahd gets up from where he was sitting and he walks over to a small table where a couple of drinks are located. And slightly turned to the side, he grabs a couple of drinks, possibly getting ready to make a toast. Karla, since you're the closest to this, give me a perception check.
Exciting. Oh, thank you, Grania Dice. Thank you, Grania Dice. I love you so much. Okay, that's a 17.
That is good. All right. As you're dancing and having fun, you notice that Strahd is walking by, grabbing a couple of drinks, and as he's doing that, your eye falls on the fact that within one of his hands, he's holding a very, very tiny pink bottle that he quickly uncorks, from which he pours a little bit of liquid into one of the cups.
If I see that, I'm going to spin Alorna into him.
All right. Give me a... You can choose whether or not you're going to do that forcefully or dexterously. So you can either give me a strength or a dexterity check.
I think I'll go for dexterity.
That's surprising.
Yeah. That's going to be a 19.
Okay. It seems that you are building a relationship with Strahd in that you are very good at, like, making him spill wine over himself. As she spins into him, a bunch of wine sloshes over him from both of the cups. Both of the cups still have wine in them, but quite a bit has been spilled over. And he's standing there annoyed. Looks over at Ilona, and Ilona, her eyes turning from the gleeful, playful kind of look that she had into fear almost. Quickly nods and excuses herself to the side.
I'm sorry. And Karla is going to try and like sidle her way towards John and Casariel.
Strahd turns around and raises both of the cups and he says, "My friends, I propose a toast. Perhaps to drink in favor of the ever-loving, ever-ruling von Zarovich family and all of those that they entice." And he offers the cup that he poured the liquid in to Tachana.
I'll message her again and say don't trust him. Once again, just try to establish it in her head. I know that it won't change history, but I have to.
It jolts her, and she looks around as she grabs the cup. And as she's looking around and feeling like this has happened not too long ago, you notice that she is on edge. And Strahd raises his glass and clinks hers, and he says, "To life." And she nods, "To life," and she drinks from it.
Before that happens,
Yes.
John, I am so sorry about this. She takes her foot and wraps it behind his and like makes his knee fall and just shoves him right into the situation. Oh.
Okay, that is definitely dexterity, so give me a dexterity check on that.
Shoves me into them.
I'm so sorry about this. They just had like a lovely moment. It was like, oh, have you ever been in love? Have you? And then she kind of like is looking behind, beyond his shoulder and sees this happening, and it's like, I'm so sorry about this, darling. And just right into it all.
This is like 2 to 3 times more wine spilling than I anticipated. Like, I'll tell you that. Give me a dexterity check on that. What did you do?
Wait, with me or him?
Yeah.
Or both?
No, you're throwing him.
Sure. Okay. Okay. That's a 15. That's 2, so 17.
All right. So as she is bringing the cup to her lips, John just waltzes into her, like stumbling over your foot, and just bumps into her.
Oh.
And she takes a big gulp of the wine and immediately drinks it down. And as you do that, she gulps the wine down and immediately looks around to see who did that. And she locks eyes with Sergei. And as she does, she breathes in, breathes out very heavily, and you can feel a sensation in the air.
Is it me falling on top of her?
No, she has no eye for you. She has only eye for Sergei.
I just meant the sensation. Okay.
I know. And Sergei looks back, almost feeling a little weird that she is looking at him almost longingly now. And he grins back at her. And to everyone around you, it is very clear that what those two share is something very special. Be it from a potion, or be it real. Everyone
I'm just gonna
noticed.
look at Strahd's face during this.
Strahd looks absolutely defeated. One would think the ritual for casting a love spell or creating a love filter would be more common, but my books were bereft of such things except for a single short theatrice on the subject. The writer's conclusion that love was a force that could not be successfully reproduced by magical methods struck me as being insanely smug. The room around you turns into mist as the book throws you back to your camp.
I was going to ask him if I had a cup of wine.
You didn't get dessert? No, you didn't get any wine. Holy shit.
I didn't get dessert. I didn't get wine. I didn't get breakfast.
But you can get a drink because we are about halfway. It's a little over even. So we're going to take a little break.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Rod's no good, very bad dinner party / ball.
I mean, like, regardless of who she loves, the fact is just because we drugged her.
Yeah, no, I'm having that's some regrets. Little regrets.
This is something to think about. Yes.
Oops.
I feel partially
We'll be right
responsible
back after the break, everyone.
Okay, yeah.
Hello, everybody. We are back from our break. I hope that you guys enjoyed your break as much as we did. It's always fun to chat with the people in our Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord just yet, make sure to look for the link of our Discord. You can find it on thegildedflask.com or on our Twitch, on our YouTube, or basically everywhere else. We advertise it everywhere. So make sure to join our Discord and you can chat with us. It's absolutely fun. So, before the break, you guys finished up over at the windmill. You went to the bridge to dive up that old treasure that you found some 3 episodes ago. And you finally dug it up.
Some money.
It's dove it up, right? Because you technically didn't dig. You dove it up.
And Casariel, that was very impressive. Like going down there twice.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Good use of your fly.
Well,
Just flying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just flying on a regular basis. Holy crap, that's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
And then
peasy.
you decided to camp and read another chapter from Strahd's diary, which shown you a little bit of romance and love and interesting table manners over at the castle of Lord Strahd. What I forgot to mention is that, as with every chapter, at the end, you guys get a reward. And since it's chapter 4, we're back at a reward for Karla. Karla.
For me? Yeah.
Yes. Because of this chapter, you have now learned how to craft a filter of love.
Oh my.
I will share with you the details for this, but you can brew a filter of love.
I'm going to be awful. I'm going to be awful. I'm not going to be awful in that way, but the fact that I know that, oh god. Oh, this world is going, oh wow.
Everyone's going to love you.
Is that a potion?
No.
A filter?
No.
A potion you need?
Yes. So in the story, that little vial that Strahd tried to pour into the drink was a filter of love. It was a love potion. And this chapter has basically given you the knowledge of said filter. It is a very small tonic, but if imbibed, it might cause certain effectuate changes in person's disposition towards someone else.
I feel like the first.
I'll share the details with you. But once you get all the ingredients, you can totally brew one.
What it
Hell
didn't say.
yeah.
What it didn't say in the book was that Strahd actually went through 8 different iterations before it finally got the right one. So, love potion number 9 really hit it off.
Jesus hell. Leave the door.
Please roll
Lower.
for psychic damage. That would be
yeah.
Are we doing
That's
D4?
definitely-
What is it?
Yes, it's a D4
Oh, God.
for everyone.
All right.
That is a solid 4 for me.
I
There we
got a
go.
one.
Yeah,
Solid
two.
1.
I said it, so I got the one.
I got a 1 as well. I was disappointed but not surprised.
I'm not mad. That hurts more than. I'm gonna roll again for psychic damage because that hurts. 3. So I got.
Beautiful.
Well, great. Okay, perfect.
Oh, yes. Filter of love. Oh. No one wants to get on my bad side. I will make them fall in love with a squirrel. I swear to Christ. Okay. Excellent.
So, you guys are back at your camp. Is there anything in particular that you guys want to do right now? Or will you guys just enjoy your long rest?
Yeah, I would like to put up the hut if we've all decided that
Sure.
it's time to go to sleep.
John's gonna look over those two and say, "I thought you guys were better dancers."
Oh, no, I'm a terrible one.
Kasariel knocks the drink out of his hand and says, it's super annoying, that sound. First of all. Second
so
of all,
sorry.
I believe that we have this bag of holding because I am an excellent dancer.
Oh yeah, that's
my
why I
God.
thought you were better. You tripped me.
You're so right, the bag of holding. Bagman!
Yes.
How are you doing? Do you need anything? Water, air? Do you need to do potty? Like, what? Do you need anything?
There's just empty silence coming from the bag at your suggestions.
If that thing makes a mess, you're cleaning it up. Or I'm
Yes.
not cleaning it, at least.
You think Kasariel's going to?
Sariel is still glaring at John for the dance comment, just relentlessly.
She'll close up the bag then. All right, sleep tight.
Do you sleep? Oh, the bag's closed. Never mind. That's so weird.
Karla will do her usual seance to make sure that she has fireball. You'll notice that the druid that she killed, like 3 sessions ago, was like screaming and crying as she's just like, calm down, show me how you did it again, how you do the fireball. And that's how she gets it back. And yeah, she continues on her night.
You know, I'll take first watch. Still looking at John, just gonna take her dagger out and just, with her sharpening stone, just...
John's gonna, like, very nervously lay down, just keeping one eye open and watching Kasariel.
Sweet dreams. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Anything else, guys? Or is it just a long rest from
That's
here on out? Wonderful. I already pre-rolled, and luckily for you guys, nothing else happens during the night. So feel free to apply your long rest.
Excellent.
Night passes into day, and it is an early morning as you rise with the cloudy sky overhead. It does seem to be day as it's no longer dark, but it's still misty and cloudy.
Oh, another beautiful day in Barovia. It's so welcoming. You know, when we get back home, we should all take a trip to the beach. I think that could be nice. You know, some sun, some sand.
Do you guys want to travel?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of what John would do at the beach. I built a sandcastle this high once.
Oh, I bet we could bury you in the sand very easily.
That is both playful and scary.
You have to. John immediately goes, you'd have to dig a pretty deep hole, but yeah, probably.
Easier than dirt.
Sure.
Okay. Off. So where are we going? Where are we going? After what we saw last night, some part of me deeply wants to go to Kresk and talk to Sergei again. But if Argynvost Hold is on the way, that might be our best bet in getting a little more answers immediately.
Which is closer, the Fane place by the windmill or Argentbost?
Oh, yes, we're doing the windmill as well. I forgot about that. Okay, to the windmill. Apologies.
They head on.
And on to
All right.
the windmill.
On to the windmill, indeed. As a matter of fact, you don't go to the windmill, you go to the area behind it, right? Just ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to
To
the
be sure.
Fanes.
All right. You walk just beyond the windmill. And it seems I forgot to put your tokens down. So let me do that.
No problem.
Just beyond the windmill. There are a couple of stones set in such a pattern that you would almost think that nature itself had a hand in it.
Like,
It is eerily quiet, but serene.
On the travel over, Kasariel kind of has her nose in her mother's journal, just reading. That's all.
Karla is going to walk up to the altar and just kind of like poke around and see if she can see any writing or anything
So-
particularly interesting about this.
A couple of things. The middle that you're standing close to right now isn't an altar per se, but is rather a large stone boulder. And as you get closer, you notice that the boulder itself is... The area basically is a hill that is going upwards. And in the middle, it has a little dip. And as it dips, there is this large stone boulder that is inside of the dip, if you will. Almost as if it's a stopper in a volcano. Other than that,
Interesting.
as you're walking towards this rock, give me a perception check.
Exciting. 19.
You notice certain effigies around you, certain like little stick figures and stuff, but as you get closer to this area where the boulder is, you notice that around you there are piles of little white and yellowish rocks and pebbles, it seems. There are piles of it, though. Like a lot.
like waist high or foot high or...
Imagine like 3 or 4 soccer balls or footballs, as they should have been called, next to each other. And the pebbles are about the size of your pinky.
Karla's going to use her mage hand to scoop up a couple of them and bring them closer.
Okay. As you get closer, you distinctly make out their molars and teeth.
Oh, wow.
They are children's molars and teeth.
Oh, dear. She's going to gently return them back down and kind of turn towards Xariel and John and relay the information and be like, we might want to burn these like we did the others.
Are teeth bones?
Yes.
John's gonna sort of reach within himself and divine sense out 60 feet from where he is. Is there evil in the area that... Good, okay.
There's not.
I'm not sensing anything like that bridge where those little stick goblins were. This place feels evil, but it doesn't seem to be.
There's something from my mother's journal.
What does it say?
Are there ravens here?
Give me a perception check. No, better yet, give me a nature check.
Well, that's not better yet for me, but I would
No,
be
but
happy
I
to do
know.
that. That is a 10. I'm sorry. No, that's a 9.
John pulls out his wand, starts looking
You
around.
hear birds.
It's a very brief entry. All it says is that that my father saved her. The ravens were laughing at them. I don't know. It's quite cryptic.
Interesting.
I don't know if this is a good place.
Yes, it's certainly giving ritualistic killing vibes, admittedly.
It gave me bad vibes, but I didn't feel anything evil in the area.
We should go.
We haven't seen the Fane yet.
Is anyone here?
I think we should go.
The very stones around you feel disinclined to reply.
I'm just.
You want us?
Sorry, go ahead.
Are you sure, Gathariel?
Who can be sure of anything here, Karla? But I am sure that this place hurt my mother. Somehow.
Wait, how did it hurt your mother?
The entry is cryptic. I was reading it on the way over here, but it is. My father apparently saved my mother's life quite a bit, and this was one of the first times. Here, these stones.
Okay, I'll trust your judgment. Yeah.
Sean's gonna walk around the boulder in a circle and just see if anything looks out of place or odd.
Give me a
Karla
perception
will
check.
walk beside Gathariel and kind of look at the entry if she'll allow her.
And what do I add to my 4 that I rolled? 3. Oh, cool. I got 7.
7. Okay. You distinctly notice that this is a boulder.
This is a large rock. Was it? He looks up like as if it could have rolled off of something. Looks around. Is there like a mountain nearby that it could have rolled down?
No, the closest mountainous area would be the area where Castle Ravenloft is located, but that's quite a ways away. It could be from there, but then it must have rolled with the help of something.
Casario, we've seen siege engines before. Does this look like anything that... This looks far too big for something that we've seen fired at a wall or anything, right?
Yes, no, it looks rather more like a ritualistic site of some kind.
Oh, they do with a big ball.
Okay, just to be clear, did they find the children's bones on top of this, like an altar, or were they
There is
just
no
scattered
altar here.
around?
It's just fair.
There's
Where
no
were
altar
the
here.
children's
There are
bones then?
the children's bones were in the windmill. What you've noticed here are a couple of piles of teeth.
Teeth, right? So where were the teeth? Whatever bones we
Oh,
found.
Do you
Where were
see
they?
The
like
little white
on the map?
piles.
Do you see those like piles of white stuff
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So in front of the
Yeah.
4, got it.
in front of the
Pillars.
4 stone pillars around the boulder? Yes.
He's gonna sort of lean against the boulder and just ponder.
Okay.
Now, if we leave, that does cut this as a cold dead end.
Oh, hypothetically, what would you do here? I mean, to try to activate something.
Do you think they live in the rock?
Well, maybe give it a knock.
Hello?
Do you knock on the stone?
Yes.
All right. It sounds more hollow than you would expect.
Ooh, it does sound more hollow than I would expect.
Thank you, John.
And I take the butt of my weapon and hit it harder against the stone.
Are we going to do this again? It sounds more hollow than you would expect.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it would be louder, like if someone is in there. I don't think this is good, Karla.
Oh, no, I was going to follow on that if it's hollow, we could try cracking it. See what's inside.
I like where your
Sarah's
head is at.
immediately going to start tracing sigils on herself, and as she does, it begins to glow. until she's cast Death Ward on herself so that she can save her 2 friends.
Are you afraid
They
of
go
dentists,
down.
Casariel?
Yes. Well, Casario doesn't know what a dentist is, but
Fair point.
Marissa might.
I wonder if the wand of crate removal and raven explosion and druid electrocution might do something here. Want to try
Give it a go. Yeah.
They all
You
stand
should
back,
not
I imagine.
encourage him. Carla,
I hope so.
You should not encourage him.
You guys might want to stand back.
Fair
Okay.
point. Wait.
Okay. So, Wand of Wonder, right? All right.
Yes.
Roll me a d100. Let's see what
Alrighty.
happens.
boy.
That one and
Why did I ever give this item to you?
because you know it's going to be great.
My mother nearly died here. I did say that, did I not?
Yeah.
I got a 000, which I think translates to either 10
That's
or
100.
100.
That's 100.
Okay.
All right. If you targeted a creature, it must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. If you didn't target a creature, you become the target, and you must make the saving throw. Let's start with that. So give me a Constitution saving throw.
So I have a Constitution saving throw of just +2, and I got a 15 on the die, so a 17.
All right. So you saved it.
Cool.
You are very lucky.
Yeah.
If the saving throw fails by 5 or more, the target is instantly petrified.
Yep.
And the other failed save, the target is restrained and begins to turn to stone, etc., etc., etc. Greater restoration and all that. So you dodged a bullet there.
he hits it against his hand. And he goes, doesn't seem to work. Whatever. Puts it in his pocket. Completely oblivious to almost dying.
Yeah, petrification is no joke.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we tried everything we could. Might as well leave. Let's go.
Fine. He's gonna grumble and what a Fane, stupid. This place is out of nowhere. It's rocks and falls
Are
behind.
you guys going to walk off?
Yeah.
4 Fanes. Oh, they're not. 4?
There's 3.
Oh, 3.
3.
3 shysters, more like it.
Okay, just before they go, Karla's gonna go and salt and burn all of those teeth
Cool.
and then head out.
As you burn the teeth, a bit of the mist clears in this area. And Karla, with your passive perception, you faintly hear on the wind, "Help me."
Oh, I can't leave that alone. Okay, I'll start scouting out wherever that is, where that came from.
It was on the wind. It's hard to pinpoint where that came from.
As she turns around to do that, Casario's like firmly walking away. Like, this was very, very wise of us. We really should walk away. I'm so proud of us. Like, she just keeps walking. She has no idea they're not behind her.
He's looking straight down the barrel of his wand. Like, why is this thing not working?
Please give me another roll. No, don't. But I so want it.
So, well, I mean, I did just hear someone say, "Help me."
What did you do?
Like on the wind, someone said, "Help me."
Someone coming from the windmill, perhaps? Or
I don't know. I tried to pinpoint it, but I couldn't. But shouldn't we help everyone? That kind of thing.
How do we help the wind?
We should look around just to be sure. I think that no one needs our help. Around
Do
the
you
clearing.
think they're under the boulder? And he rushes back to the boulder and starts trying to move it.
Give me a strength check.
You said someone was in danger, and there's a big boulder in here. Somebody got crushed by a boulder. I'm 100%
I'm
sure.
gonna ready spare the dying just in case.
Got a 14.
How much did you get? A 14 total?
14 total, yes. So 12 on the die and 2 plus 2. I'm not as strong as you might think.
It moves an inch and then it pops back into place. This thing is massive.
Was like when it moved a little bit, was there anything underneath, like a person or something?
You were looking for that because, John might be silly, but like,
I'm 100%.
What's your passive?
My passive what?
Perception?
Perception? Oh, it's not good. It's 10. Oh wait, no, sorry, 13 perception.
Okay, we have 13. Oh, sure. You noticed that it moved an inch. There was like a hole underneath, as if like there's a cave or something there.
I think there's something under here.
Your mother nearly died here, and she's very powerful and strong.
It doesn't say anything about that. She just touched the stone, and so he's a paladin. So John conceivably could do the same thing that my father did.
I could try hitting it with a little more force, and he holds up his weapon, gesturing.
I meant to save her. Well, we could all probably push the boulder over if you want to try that.
All right.
Okay. Alrighty. Karla will pop over to John and help him push the boulder.
Karla, as you step into the circle, the pile of teeth have basically started to burn out, and you notice that since it's so close to the stones around you, there's a black soot mark on all 4 of the pillars right now. And what's your passive perception again?
It's not great. It's 14. Oh wait, no, 12. It's 12.
Even with 12, you notice that there's something off about the soot marks on the stones.
Oh,
It looks like there's writing in it.
okay. She is going to call on any spirit that happens to be here. She's going to open her body up as a vessel for possession, if so being, and call to any spirit that happens to be in this area that seems to be fucking with them. And she's just going to reach out and see.
And I'll allow that. You get briefly possessed for a second, and the only word that is uttered through your mouth is season.
We already had lunch, Karla.
Season?
Season? What does that mean?
What season is it? When did we get in here?
Who can tell in this place?
Not here. Outside, when we left. Oh well. Okay, so there's definitely something here. It just possessed me there for a moment. I opened my body up for it.
Kappa?
Kappa? Oh. I hate this. I'm leaving, guys. This is my 2 weeks notice.
Sorry.
You're not even getting that. I'm quitting on the spot.
Do I have
okay.
it? I don't think I have it.
Yes, there's definitely some powerful entity here. It's probably the Fane. That is why we're here. We're here for the Fane. We just don't know if it's good or bad. That's the issue.
Well, I don't think I can sense things that are hiding, but I definitely didn't feel anything evil in this area. The ground, at least, is not evil, or it's not also hallowed, so.
Wait, season. There's 4 of them, and there's 4 pillars. Maybe each pillar corresponds to seasons? Well, maybe I'm being crazy, but...
I mean, we already knew that.
That is truly one of the most accurate things you've ever said about me, John. She's going to look a little bit at the the writing that is on the pillars.
The one you're standing in front of right now reads spring.
Oh, I am so clever. Oh, I'm so clever. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Maybe we should make an offering of each season to the pillars, and that might help this be not terrible. Okay, what would you associate with spring? And Carla's going to start rooting around in her bag.
Flowers.
Flowers are good. And
Cleaning.
spring cleaning, yes.
When
She-
have you ever cleaned?
She
John?
stole soap from the
My mom
Durst
made me
mansion,
clean.
so she's going to take out the soap from the Durst mansion and lay it in front of spring.
And
Spring cleaning. An
the
offering.
ground rumbles a little bit as you do so.
I think it's working. Okay, and she's going to go over to the one that says summer. And she
Which
got
would be the one directly adjacent to it, so on the other side of the boulder.
the other side of the boulder. Okay, she's going to go to the one that says summer, and she's going to place... I think she got, like, a very special lantern in the Durst mansion as well, like a burning, oily kind of one.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to light that and place it down there.
The earth rumbles.
Yeah.
Okay. Winter is where?
Is the one to your left.
Up or down?
Oh, sorry. Like on the map to the left.
That... Yes, I
There,
don't
yeah.
write with this hand, so that's where that is. Okay, sorry, I have directional issues.
All good.
Okay, winter, something cold or something dead. What is in my bag of holding?
I have some bacon left over from when Brahms made it for us. It's kind of dead.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
we have a couple of witch heads.
We do.
They're
She's
dead.
going to pull out one of the hag heads and place it down on Winter.
The earth trembles.
And then she's going to run over to Autumn. And she is going to... Oh, what's she going to... What could we put for Autumn?
Do you have any dead leaves?
No, we've already done dead. I want... Well, I mean, it is a spooky season. So Karla is going to...
Her mage hand.
As an offering. Yeah.
It's the creepiest thing.
She's going to take out her ghost detector with her crystal ball and place it down on
Nothing happens.
Earth. Nothing happens. Okay, she'll pick it back up. Be like, huh.
Wait,
Maybe-
didn't I take clippings from Daskaloo? I did. I took clippings from the plants at Daskaloo Manor.
Yes, you did.
Did.
I will take those out of my pack and put them... Or I'll hand them to Karla.
I'll place them in front of Autumn. See if it works.
The earth shakes one final time and the boulder rolls to the side, not hitting you guys.
Yeah.
And revealing an entrance.
Cool.
That went so much faster than I anticipated. Well done.
Offering yourself for possession seems to work very well.
Yes.
It freaks the ghosts out. They're not as scared. They're like, she's not scared of us. It's different.
I
different
agree
situation.
completely.
Do you guys want to go down? Because if yes,
Want
I'll
is like a
remove.
Yes,
super specific word.
absolutely. Like
The
having
hole
soap work.
beneath the boulder
That was
opens
awesome.
up into a small staircase that leads into a hallway. It is very
Okay.
dark down here.
Right.
All right.
Um,
Before you all move, Sariel will take the sight from her own eyes and grant it to both of her friends. So I'll give you both eyes of night. You can now both see in the dark.
This place is a lot brighter than I thought it was. Oh, never mind. Thank you, Casario.
The small hallway opens up into a larger room where you see at the end a small staircase leading to an altar.
Looking around, what are these statues of?
The statues that are standing down here seem to be of two figures that almost resemble a druidic form, one with a bow and one with an axe. They look broken and old, crumbling almost.
Faced statues before, so keep an eye on those.
Oh, do
It's so weird that we can say that.
you sense anything evil here?
He'll stand a little bit further up and close his eyes and divine sense.
Oh, yes. There is evil down here.
Can I can sense kind of where it's coming from if you want to. Is it just the ground around us or
It's in the direction of the altar.
something's evil over there? Do I get anything from the statues?
No,
Okay.
nothing evil.
Something evil is
Or good.
Something evil. They're fine. They're just statues. Come on. There's definitely something evil over on that altar. Or by it.
Righty, so we proceed with caution. I was going to pick her way forward slowly.
I'll basically follow behind Karla. Oh man.
And as you move forward, Karla, you feel a bit of wind go past you. And as you do, you look to the side, and all you hear is a large, low growl. As all of a sudden, the creature pops into vision.
Let's proceed forward with
Stares you
caution.
down.
Bolts.
Roll for initiative.
Okay,
Okay.
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 We can do this, guys.
Oh,
We can do this.
on.
Oh boy.
19.
4.
Okay. 4?
13.
Holy shit. 13.
I'm really good at being bad at initiative.
I have advantage, and I am always bad at it. Initiative too. Maybe I should give you advantage now.
That's fine.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Alrighty. The large growling creature that is staring Karla down looks like a monstrosity. It's hairy, and it isn't. It is dark brown and bright white. It has antlers, but it also has a wolf's head. It almost seems like it has human hands with claws, but it also has hooves. It has two very evil eyes, and a lot of very, very sharp teeth.
How big is it relative to Karla?
It's about 2 Karlas.
About to get
So
snatched
it's about
up,
the
guys.
size of, for those of you that are disinclined to know how big Karla is, this is about the size of a Shetland pony.
Exciting.
2 Karlas next to each other.
Okay.
Yes.
Damn.
Am I inadvertently calling you fat right now? I'm not sure. I didn't want
He's
to.
okay.
No,
But-
but you're actually calling her thin.
That's true. Yeah, 2 next to each other Shetland. Yeah, this is, yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Yes. So, this creature moves a little bit towards the altar and stares you down. It breathes in, and as it does, it releases a green gas from its mouth towards Karla, and it also hits John. Both of you need to throw me a Constitution saving throw.
Do not fuck me. I hate you. Oh God.
Can't be worse than
Oh.
mine.
God.
Oh no.
Fucking. That's gonna be that's an 11. That's an 11.
Crit miss!
Ooh, okay. Well, both of you are currently paralyzed.
Excellent.
I wanna
Casario,
do
your
that.
turn.
Nice knowing you, bitches. Peace out. Fucking told you. No, okay. Gasariel sees this happen, and
Oh, this thing smells bad.
oh shit. She's gonna cast Moonbeam, and on the floor beneath it, radiant light begins to encircle it, and then it shoots up like fire, except for that it's golden and radiant. So I cast Moonbeam, and I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
Alrighty. Give me 1 second.
Oh god, guys. It's not good.
There you go. Constitution saving throw of how much?
15.
Failed. I got a 5.
Yes. Okay.
If it fails
Brilliant.
by 5 or more, it instantly dies, right? No?
Nope. Okay, if it is a shape changer.
It is not.
Okay. Great. Crap. Okay. So yeah. So I'm sorry. I just need to know how much I roll.
I was already ready for that. I figured that was where you were casting this.
3d10. Okay. 3d10. There's 1, 2. Okay. Ooh, that's good. That's good. 14 points of damage.
How much?
14 points of damage.
Nice. All right.
Yes.
All right.
And wow. Yeah, so that's she's gonna move forward and stand in front of John. That's it
All
for
right.
me.
Top it around. After this, you guys can roll your saving throws, of course. Top it around. The Feyhound bites Karla. Or, well,
Lovely.
at least it'll try to. And it may do so with advantage. That is a 23.
That sure does hit. Babe. Yep.
That is 14 points of total damage, of which 7 is piercing, 7 is fire.
Ooh.
A-okay.
Ow.
Youch.
Karla, your turn. You're paralyzed.
I rolled a whatchamacallit, a 17 as my con save.
You're fine. You're break out of your paralysis.
Is that just an action to do that, or?
Breaking out is basically at the start of your turn. You will still need to stand up, but you can fight.
Okay, if I can fight, I'm going to look at this thing and I'm going to be like, oh, and send out a beam of psychic energy into its brain. So you need to make me an intelligence saving throw of 14.
Okay. Also, just for the record, are you standing up?
No, I'm still down.
Okay. Intelligence saving throw of 14, you said?
Yes.
Well, that's not going to cut it. It's a natural 1, and he has a -2 on it, so -1.
Excellent. Okay, so that's going to be 76 damage to it, and it's going to be paralyzed for its next round.
Cool. Wow. Okay.
Ooh, back at ya.
Yeah, very good. Exactly what I was thinking.
Could you please be intelligent? No. Okay.
I've been waiting for a stupid one to come along. Alright, alrighty. And then I need to make one more roll. 4 and a 2, 6, 6. So that's 18. What 18 plus 3 is 21. Then we have another 3, which is 24. And then we have another one. 25. So that going straight into his head. It'll get knocked down as sort of basically the psychic lance gets thrown at it, and then I'm going to do a little bit of bardic inspiration to determine my tale, and we'll see
How
what we
much
get.
damage was that?
Oh, that was 24 psychic damage
All right,
to it.
thank you. As you hit it, like in its head, one of his antlers breaks off, and there's like a splooge of purple blood coming out of his head.
Ah, wonderful. And as I'm sort of like looking at it with its antlers off, a hole opens beneath me, and I teleport back towards them as the tail that is determined is the tail of the runaway. There we go.
And it's paralyzed right now, right?
And it's paralyzed, yes.
Just wanted to make sure. Does it have... Nope, it can totally be paralyzed. Yep, it is paralyzed on the ground right now, and it's hurting.
All right. Should we go?
Do I get a turn?
You do, like after Kasaria.
Oh, sorry. Because you're already gone.
Initiative order.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to decide whether it's his turn or my turn that it takes another. I think it's my turn. So it'll another Constitution saving throw, please.
Is it with advantage because he's paralyzed?
That is a 17. How much did I need?
15, so it saves. So
Alright.
it'll take half.
Yep.
So that is.
Which is how much?
Ooh, I rolled 4, so 2.
All right.
2 points of damage. And then I will. Okay, it's paralyzed right now. So
Yes.
I do. It gives me advantage, right, on any
Yes.
attacks.
As long as you
Kasari
can see it, which you can.
You're gonna see the tips of her fingers go black. Her eyes go black, and the veins from her eyes, black sort of undertone of her skin just starts to take her over. All the way down her body, into her arms, into her fingers. She's gonna run forward, grab it by its face, and cast Inflict Wounds
Love it.
at 3rd level.
Go ahead.
Alright. Mark off that spell slot. Great. Okay. Okay. 14 plus 7. 21 to hit.
21. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so it's 4d10. Ooh. Oh gosh. I only have 3 out? Okay. 5. 12, 14, 18 points of damage.
All right.
Yeah.
My dear Casario, what happens?
Yeah, so as she grabs it, she just melts it. The black from her fingers goes into its body and just starts corrupting it. You can see its skin starts to turn like necrotic and disgusting, and just begins to like melt. And she refuses to let it go, and then suddenly she'll let it go, and it just like collapses to the floor, and it's like black, dusty.
Breaking out of his paralysis for one more second, you hear one large yelp as it falls to the ground and perishes.
We are so good at killing dogs.
You just killed a Feyhound. Well done.
I don't. You guys killed it before I even had my first turn. That was amazing.
Well, technically, you're still paralyzed. So, can you roll me?
I did. I got a 15, so I don't know if that's enough, but
15 is the save. So you got out. Yeah, this creature is especially annoying in that it paralyzes you and takes away your first turn. So, so that is why, yeah.
Okay. Ugh.
Faye, man. They're difficult to deal with. Incredible job,
Faye-
Casario.
Dripping
terrible.
with guts and ichor, she turns back. We should be careful.
Around you, or like?
She'll
Fair
just
point.
take John's cloak and... No, I mean,
Damn
we
it,
should
not
be careful
again.
in general. I told you, my mother got killed here.
Is the
It's just
evil still here, John?
I don't think so. She killed it. he looks at Casario.
How long does that spell last again?
It's only one round of the divine sense.
Yeah, okay, so you can't sense it right now.
No, yeah. So he kind of like eyeballs Casario like, I don't think the evil's still here.
Okay. Karla is going to very, very cautiously pick her way forward a little bit more toward the altar.
As you
Keeping
get
her
closer
eye
to the altar, you
very-
notice that on both sides of the altar, there are two sort of pits with some sticks standing there, as if those are torches or fire or something.
Mm. Oh, it's probably not smart, but she is going to go and like light one
It ignites.
and then light the other.
Oh boy. There's like an automatic graphic for that. I feel like that's either really good or really bad sign.
I'm just really good at preparing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she's going to look at the altar and she's going to say, Fane of the forest, are you here?
Give me a... Since you have already been possessed, which was a totally cool move, give me a perception check.
That's an 18.
Again, one word is carried on the wind, and you hear poem.
Poem. We're going to pull out the poem that I got from Orpheus
Go ahead, read it.
and begin reading it. Okay, let me get it up and I'll read it. Orpheus with his lute made trees, and the mountain tops that freeze bow themselves when he did sing to his magic plants and flowers, ever sprung as sun and showers, there had made a lasting spring. Everything that heard him play, even the billows of the sea, hung their heads and then lay by. In sweet music is such art, killing care and grief of heart. Fall asleep or hearing die.
As you utter those words, the entire cave is lit up in magical energy.
A rave starts immediately.
You hear a rumbling explosion in this room, as if thunder and lightning struck. And Karla, as you look at the altar, you notice an all too familiar face standing in front of you on the altar.
Morgantha.
I thought Strahd killed you.
The old woman smiles warmly at the three of you and she says, "Thank you. Please, come closer."
No. You took my memories from me. I resurrected you.
I am unfortunately burdened with whatever those hags have done to the land. I fear they might have even stolen my visage.
Insight.
I am.
Do I believe?
Go ahead.
Do you have a twin sister?
19?
She sounds different, and her whole mannerism is just different. It's hard to believe anything in this world, but heck, at least it's different.
Okay. Alright.
I am the Forest Fane. And I have been awaiting someone to cleanse this land of the foulness that has happened in the windmill and near my altar. Someone who would bury those unfortunates. Someone who would burn those offerings that have been made not in my name, and those who would slay the beast that was haunting my chamber. I have but to thank you, for you have freed me. I hope that you have also found my gem.
I'm afraid the Lord of the Land has taken it.
I mean,
Is he the darkness you speak of?
Before I was enclosed in this tomb, the Lord of this land made conquest upon those who lived here, for good and for bad. Whether or not he is true darkness remains to be seen, but with his coming, the land has suffered.
If he's not the darkness, what is the darkness that is attached to this land? You have to know.
You see the Fane closing her eyes, and she says, "The darkness roams in the mountains. My sister, the mountain Fane, might know more. I know the darkness that has affected this land, but as to its whereabouts or its origin, I cannot help you. Not without my gem."
I understand. There are druids beyond here who are attempting to... Who used your gem, who wanted to bring you back to cleanse the land. But the way they talked, there was no mercy or they didn't seem to care for people of the land. Are you the same? Does nature stand in your heart above even a person?
The corruption spread so deep that even those who hold dear the land have been corrupted to such an extent that the land itself can no longer trust upon them. Their merits be true, but their ways are clouded. The land has been weakened.
With your sisters, do they have stones, gems that they need to... Do they need them returned to them? Just as you do?
Yes. Each of us holds true a gem of unimaginable power, here to hold the land in good health. As I rule over the forests, my sister rules over the mountains, and my other sister used to rule over the water.
Used to.
She too has fallen to corruption.
Could she be freed?
Perhaps, and hopefully.
If we were to restore you and your sisters, help you return power to the land, would you free its people from the darkness? Not kill them, free them.
I will not free the people from their burden, but I will not stand in their way. The people have their own freedom, as does the forest.
Do you combat the darkness?
In freeing me and aiding my altar, I can, but for a limited time, aid you. The gem is what gives me power. Without it, I can only help you temporarily. But know this, that in the hour of darkness when you need it most, I will make sure that no one can ever call upon those who innocently dwell in the forests, the wolves, the other critters.
Ravens?
The ravens hold a different place in our world.
Hmm.
Is there any more questions that you have? Either of you?
Does your sister look like a witch too?
She smiles at you and she says, "My sisters look like my sisters."
Ah, that makes sense.
Where do we find them? Your sisters.
My sister, the mountain Fane, dwells there, which the druids hold in high regard. And my sister, who once was the Fae of Water, dwells near the Barovian swamps.
Barovia, the city, or Barovia, the country?
Beyond the castle that was once home to those that held the Silver Order in high regard, a path lies that leads into the mires of this land.
Is she talking about
It is
Archenvoss
there
Old?
that my sister dwells.
Yes, that is what she was talking about. Okay. Do you know where their gems are? Are they with
I do
them
not.
or?
What happened here? How are you? You ruled the lands once, did you not? How did you?
We kept the land safe. Ruling is not what I desire.
What happened to you?
When the land was attacked by such force, I decided that my gem best be kept elsewhere, lest those powers would come looking for these gems and use it for evil. I entrusted the gem with those who are running the winery. It seems that was a wise decision until recently.
Say, hypothetically, some people were to find one of your sister's gems, and then hypothetically, the Lord of the Land approached them. What would happen if they hypothetically gave it to him?
The gems help in governing the land. As the gem of the forest commands respect of those that dwell in the forest and the forest's life itself, so does the gem of the mountain and the gem of the water command those that live there as it does the very soil. Commanding the three of those means commanding the ancient and the land.
What is this ancient that people keep talking about? Is it a person, an ideal, a god?
It is time and time itself. The land in all its eons.
Name. He hasn't aged. Rahadin of Strahd.
Or
That's why he's the ancient.
Gwendolyn Veer.
Yes. Maybe that's how he's the ancient. He has some control over time. Interesting.
We have
But he won't be
some
able
of the
to corrupt.
gems, and we just gave him another one.
Azariel.
Hypothetically.
But the gem, would it be corrupted by him if he were to touch it, or if we were to get it back and bring it to you, would it still work just the same for you?
That we can only hope.
What would happen if it broke? And also, is it fragile?
The gem cannot be broken.
Oh, thank God.
By any mortal means. But if godly powers are indeed meddling with this, then hope may be lost.
Can you not be more plain? Speaking to us, clearly it was peaceful here, was it not? And then something happened. Was it a usurper? Was it an army that came?
There are always those that seek dominance and power over land, be it good and be it bad. It is when those powers thirst for more than the corruption of man, when we fear that hope may be lost.
This is not helpful. Do you understand? People have died here. People have died trying to save these lands. Your lands that you're supposed to be protecting. Can you not give us any more information than riddles and poetry?
Can you give me what I need, rather than giving it away so hastily?
Hastily is an interesting choice of words.
What would happen if we gave you another gem?
I would require the one gem that belongs to the forest Fane, as do my sisters need their own. If they still possess them, then they are safe. But that knowledge is beyond me.
I need a moment, Karla's going to say, and she's going to exit the tomb.
One last thing. If you were to sell pastries, what kind would they be? All right.
She ponders that for a second and says, chestnut.
Okay. He looks over at Kasara and goes, I was just checking, make sure. I mean, she could just be...
No, I followed you. With the child pastry thing.
Exactly, yep.
I know, we're on the same level. We should...
Yep, he goes back with her.
The forest Fane descends from the altar and reaches out her hand to Casariel. She says, would you come closer?
You know what we should work on with you? Your delivery. I know you're probably ancient, but it does seem as though you've given us very little information and a bunch of riddles. It doesn't make for one... It's hard to trust you. Do you understand?
I think she's a forest.
And as much as it pains me, unfortunately the courtesy extends towards you as well, for it is hard to trust those that has both liberated me as well as given away that which I require most. Trust is a fickle thing, but perhaps she takes one more step forward. A test of trust. And she extends a hand towards you.
I'm going to look at Kasariel. Does it look like she's about to stab this lady?
I wonder too, so
sorry.
good question.
Yeah, no, sorry. I don't know how you want to
Well, is she? Does she look?
Should there be a roll, or do you want me to just tell you?
No. I'm asked because I've seen her in a bar where people were hitting her up and chatting her up and stuff like that, and I know the signs when she's about to stab a bitch. So just looking for those signs.
Almost
Same deal.
always.
I just want to know if I need to diffuse the situation as
Listen, Occam's razor, right? To Casariel, the simplest answer is often the easiest. If there's this all-powerful, just like when we were in the caves in the druid bad situation back in the druid situation, if this was a benevolent being, it would try to help us. This seems very shady, right? At least it's giving us very little information. So
on the one hand, we gave away her, and he's going to say this to her. On the one hand, we gave away her gem. But on the other hand, we didn't know really about her until now. So, and he turns to the Fane, and Strahd's he's really powerful. So he probably would have gotten it anyway.
Powerful. Power is like a mountain. With enough force, it will erode in time.
Power is nothing like a mountain.
Mountains.
Power is power. Power gains allies. Power gathers armies. Knowledge is like a mountain, and you've given us none.
She takes one more step forward and extends her hand once more. She says, "Do you possess the power to create an ally?"
I can make a puppy. It's weird.
If you were truly good, you would understand that we're not want to give our support to something that could be potentially evil. I don't know.
If you were a true hero, you would understand that sometimes, even in the darkest paths, not all is lost.
I am not a hero. I'm a soldier. If you want a hero, you should talk to him. Short reference, John.
John looks at the statue behind him as if she's referencing it.
She looks at you, John. She says, "Is this true?"
A path in the darkest of paths. What?
You trust her,
Would
John?
you accept my allegiance?
I mean, she doesn't seem like she can hurt anybody, so yeah, sure.
She extends a hand towards you.
He just takes it and shakes. Nice to meet you.
As you take her hand, there is a moment that your hands lock, as in lock. You cannot shake her hand off.
She's stronger than she looks.
Your hand fills up with something, and for a second, it feels as if you're no longer holding her hand, but holding something else. And if you blink once or twice... Guys, I'm trying to create a moment here, okay?
So sorry. Just need 1 minute.
Why did you word?
I don't even know why we're laughing. I honestly don't even know why we're laughing.
I'm sorry. I wanted to ask, is it sticky? But never mind. I was like, if it was peanut butter. Anyway, sorry.
And you can't leave. I'll just go ahead and
And Karla's out of the room, and that's the best that I can do for myself at the moment.
Something fills my hand.
Someone's going to keep the role play going. All right. So an item appears in your hand. As you look at it, I imagine you do. It looks like a staff. Not a particularly long one. Oh, this isn't helping, is it?
No. Not at all. That big long stick. Oh wow.
Okay, keep talking. I actually have something for this. I have something for this.
It's a rather short staff, don't you think?
Quite big
But
to
it is
call.
firm.
Is it made of
Gets the
wood?
job
Is it
done.
wood?
It honestly feels
This is the problem. As a DM, you prep for everything. Like if you're like me, you prep for everything. Like, are they gonna do this? Are they gonna
Listen,
do this is one of the scenarios
strangely-
that I just
This was Daniel's
Yep.
fault, and that never happens.
It honestly
it's either
true.
me or Papa. 99% of the times is one of those times when it was Daniel's fault. So for those who couldn't see and were listening, I'm just pointing that out.
It honestly feels heavier than it looks.
That's what the Fane said. Holding it in your hand, you have a rather straight tree branch in your hand. The tip of it filled with leaves, though it feels as if it's missing either a rock at the top or something, but it does feel somewhat like a weapon. The Fane of the Forest steps back and says, "Then have this." I'm going to give Casario and Karla a second to regain their conscience.
Genuinely crying.
Excellent
Why did
craftsmanship.
you do that motion at the end of it?
That's excellent craftsmanship. What is it?
Okay.
It's
I'm an
staff.
adult. Oh,
Yeah, we're all adults here. Oh. John, what you've just gotten from the Forest Fane is a Fey staff. And as the Forest Fane points out, she says, this staff is a symbol of our allegiance. And even though we understand that you have made poor decisions,
Hey. Okay.
we still feel that those decisions can be corrected and that hope is not yet lost. I have but little power to spare if I do not possess my gem, but the power that I do have, I will share with you. This Fey staff will grant you part of my power. Visit my sisters and help them if you have to. They too possess power like this and will imbue this staff with their power. And John, what you've just gotten is a Fey staff. This Fey staff is now imbued with the power of the forest, which means that once per day you can cast Cure Wounds.
Cool.
With the caveat, well, not necessarily caveat, with the bonus that it's a one-time spell on the entire party.
Oh, that's awesome.
that's big. Huge.
So it is a 1d8 plus spellcasting modifier, so that should be 3 or 4 at this point, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, 4.
Um,
Sweet.
Yeah. But it is on all three of you at the same time, once per day.
That's fantastic. Is there any kind of range, or do we have to all hold hands?
Yes, is it a long
I'm-
range or short range?
I'm being
This
so
isn't gonna
good right
fix
now.
anymore, right? It's
I'm being so good right now, and I'm
I
not
don't
clapping.
even understand what
it is just short range, so it should be like just normal 20 to 30 feet somewhere. So basically just close by each other. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, basically mass cure wounds. I love it.
I already added the item in D&D Beyond, so feel free to add it. It's called a Fey staff.
Thank you.
And all three of you can wield it. It is, you do need attunements to it, but feel free.
You
Anyone
may
can use
all
it.
wield my staff.
I got no more attunement left.
I figured as much.
I'm having
The Fae of the
trouble
Forest
reloading.
slowly steps back towards her altar, turns around and says, "Remember what I said. Hope is not yet lost, but consider the shift of power once you run into the next gem. The choice ultimately lies with you should you find the gems." With that, she slowly dissipates.
At this point, Karla is outside, leaning against the boulder, and she pulls out something that I haven't even told the DM that I have, because it's not really that consequential. In one of Karla's coat pockets for emergencies, particularly stressful emergencies, she has a little box of tobacco and a pipe. And she's sprinkling some in, and she's smoking. That she's just laid sort of like against the boulder, like smoking, looking haggard after that.
I love it.
All right. I have an excellent staff. He was admiring it, and she's gone now. Sorry, all these people are odd.
Yeah. I don't know why they just don't tell us beforehand. Makes it rather hard to trust people here.
I just felt bad, you know. She looks like an old lady, and she's just asking for someone to shake her hand, and you know.
I know, John.
Gave me a staff.
I saw that. You're all goodness, and you deserve it. Of all of us, you're the best. You know that, don't you?
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, this cave. So, isn't it damp in here? We should get out of here. What do you think Karla's doing? Let's go. And she's gonna just like walk past him.
Good Lord, where is she? Yeah, goodness, where is she? I think we're all heading out.
You guys out.
Yeah. Hey, Karla, do you see this?
There you go.
He's gonna hold it out.
Smell. Oof.
She's fully smoking the pipe, and she kind of like sidelong eyes to John, and she's like, I need like 5 minutes of no talking. And she's going to puff the pipe again.
He starts pantomiming the staff and the old lady shaking hands. And...
Sorry, I'll just put her hand on it and just like lower it down slowly.
Okay. He walks over.
After 5 minutes pass of her just like sitting there smoking, she'll like very politely like pocket it all back up, slip it into like the inseam pocket of her jacket, take a deep breath and walk towards you and say, what happened after I left? Did she say anything useful?
Not really.
Not really. She just wanted someone to shake her hand, and she gave me a stick that she said I should bring to her sisters.
Would you mind if I took it for a moment?
Oh, sure, here.
She'll take it and cast Identify and presumably get the sort of like knowledge of Cure Wounds on it and share that with the party. Very slowly to John, she will share it to him exactly what it does, because I already have a lot of magic items to keep in my inventory at the moment, so...
I can hang on.
What do you all think of the Lord of the Land? Where are we standing with this? Because the way it's sounding, we may need to go and rob back that fucking jewel.
To be honest, he seems a bit stiff. I mean, at dinner, he had almost no emotion. I mean, his brother was really friendly, but he was just cold and, you know. I mean, most people are. We've Kazariel and I have dealt with people in power before. I mean, they all tend to be a bit standoffish. Not really a fan, but yeah.
You, Kazariel?
Unlike my sweet friend here, I understand why you're asking me this, Karla. I suppose half the answer is that I don't know what to think of him. I don't know if it's evil or if it's or if it's something else. But I also don't know if the Fanes are evil or something else. I really don't know. I do know that the Lord of this land has my mother. I should very much like to speak with her. And I understand your desire to take the gem back, but I would just ask that perhaps we could wait until I've had a moment just to hug her, just once. I don't know if I'll be able to trust what she says, but I just should very much like to see her once again.
Right. Then I'll shelve it. We'll see your mother, and if we can, I swear to God, we will save her.
John's going to put a hand on Casario's shoulder and just comfort and agree with her.
Very well.
Are we going to Argentvost Holt, or do we have anywhere else to go?
It's where we were going next, and it takes the decision, well, postpones the decision we have to make to go there, so that's probably the best port of call.
Perhaps perhaps we can ask my father.
Yes.
The fuck is going on here? You know.
If
maybe
he's
he'll get
anything
in
like
touch.
you, he might actually give a straight up answer instead of the back and forth
don't
that we've
know.
had.
I don't know what he's like. I mean, he
Very
must
well.
be something. You know, my mother was pretty great, so
You,
he must be pretty great as well. I
you
think.
said he was a paladin of Lathander, right?
What my mother's journal says.
You think he might have been like me?
I think he was a lot like you, in fact. Yes.
Oh dear God, we're not
absolutely.
getting any answers out of him then.
I'm,
She
I
says this
meant,
very quietly to herself.
You're
I
going to
meant
get the most
righteous.
direct answers out of him.
You're actually so true with that, yeah.
Hmm.
The ones we want, who knows? Okay, I have the map, so I'll lead the way. And very stiffly, she will begin walking whatever direction Argentvost Hold is meant to be.
And as you walk towards the path to resume your travels towards Argentvost Hold, we will see what that brings to you next week. Because it is time.
Shady ass Fanes.
Exciting. That
What
was
a-
a good episode.
What a twist of
Yeah.
fame.
Promises.
A twist of fane, I love it.
And that was actually the
Accurate
title on
Episode
Twitch.
title, yeah.
Yep.
D4? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Where is Marissa's Oscar? Where is the Emmy?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was
wonderful.
like, yeah. Emotions are running high, and that's good. That's welcome to the Curse of Strahd. It gets deeper. Like I told you, it started this adventure. This is one that goes deep.
I know which one I'm wielding.
Mommy and daddy issues, you know?
No, but
The
like,
Wombo combo.
honestly, like, we're making this all together, of course, but like, yeah, I want to give a shout out to all three of you because Casario is doing great. John, Karla, you guys are doing great as well. This is honestly an amazing performance, and I'm enjoying the fact that the content is landing so well, that you guys are interacting with it the way you do. Both the shenanigans and the ups and downs. It's great. So I'm loving
You
it.
are so patient as a DM. You're so wonderfully. You're wonderful.
17
DM and so
glasses of
patient.
wine spill on Strahd. 17, no less than 17.
It's
John
get a lot of
holds
something,
one
right?
hand, and we can't be consoled for 10 minutes. Like you are patient. Yes. Oh. Alrighty.
Awesome. All right. So that concludes episode 26 of The Curse of Strahd. I think we're going to go on Twitch and see if we can raid someone.
Yeah.
But before we do that, for those of you that are listening in either on the podcast or on YouTube or on Twitch right now, if you haven't joined our social channels already, then please do so. We are very active on our Discord, where you can actually talk with us, and while we're streaming, you can join the live chat and you can actually talk with us while we're taking a break. If you don't want to do that, we have an Instagram channel where we have some cool pictures. We have a TikTok channel. We have a podcast. We have YouTube. We have Twitch. We got everything. So make sure to follow us everywhere because we're cool. Oh, yes.
Play. Do it. Gen Z.
Do we have a target that we want to rate?
So
Target.
we have
target.
I think we can go. Can we go to our end scene and then talk it over?
Absolutely. Sounds good. So everyone, we will see you next week with episode 27.
Yes.
Where we're most probably going to visit Argin Vosthold. So if you want to see what's happening over there, be sure to check us next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.